Push the button. Why you not push the button? Bartholomew.
Monday. So good to me. Ba-da, ba-da-da-da. Good Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rob Brown Show. Is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. How we doing, everybody? How was your sports weekend? Was it wonderful? Was it fantastic? Was it fabulous? Was it tremendous? I hope that it was, my dudes and my dudettes. It is so good to have you back here on a Recap Monday.
Wait. Man, I look good. I mean, I usually look good, but today I look really, really good.
You don't not, Lonzo.
I know.
You don't not.
And you can see how good I look in the thing that Rob's wearing by going to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the X, yo.
Wait, Lonzo, I even broke out the vintage cap today. The old school Saints logo.
What is that, like a winning season hat?
That's Sir Saint. No, this logo is actually from back when we used to be atrociously bad.
Okay.
And
that's an Aints hat.
This is a logo from the old paper bags in the Superdome.
All right,
age, man.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, this is from back when. This is from back when we didn't think the Saints could win. It was just a social occasion on a Sunday. That's what this was.
Is it not that anymore?
Shut up. Nobody asked you.
Who asked you? I meant that. Well,
Yeah, we're not good again. But we do have first ballot Hall of Famer Derek Carr leading said New Orleans Saints into Bank of America Stadium tonight, Charlotte, North Carolina. And
you're undefeated right now, though, aren't you?
No, we got our asses kicked there last year.
No. I mean, right now the record is.
The Saints, yes, they are a stellar 1-0.
Right
after a win over the Raiders.
The other two of the other teams in the NFC are 2-0.
For the record, if the New Orleans Saints are able to beat the Carolina Panthers this evening, the NFC South will have not one, not two, but 3 2-0 teams. There is only one other division in football that can boast having 2 or more 2-0 teams right now. Primarily because somehow, some way, in an unfathomable twist of fate yesterday, the New York Giants figured out how to come down from 100 points and win that game. And the Washington freaking Commanders gutted out a win last night. So the NFC East has 3 2-0 wins because the Cowboys also wrecked Zach Wilson's New York Jets as well. So we got a lot of NFL to get to on the radio broadcast today. And, of course, as we mentioned, this evening, the New Orleans Saints will visit Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers in a little Monday night football. And your boy will be in attendance, so make sure you follow me on Twitter and on the gram because I will be acting a fool and having a great time doing it.
You didn't say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
Book. Good news, bad news for the Carolina Panthers. So far, Rob Brown has been to 3. Well, this will be my third. This will be my third New Orleans at Carolina game all time. And Lonzo, I am 0-2.
Duh.
When the Saints have visited the Carolina Panthers. 0-2. So I'm hoping that first ballot Hall of Famer Derek Carr can get me my first dub at BOA. We're going to find out, and we're going to talk about that game and a lot of other games later on. Do you know why, Lonzo? We're going to talk about this game at All the Wellness because it's Monday. It's getting hot in here. Which means it's Hot Take Monday time, kids. It is time for Manic Monday. It is time for Hot Take Monday. Want all of your hot takes from the weekend. Like this one, Lonzo. Bama's done. They're cooked. The dynasty's dead. Ding dong. Saban's gone.
Oh, I just thought of I got to get Bailey saying ding dong hello. Have you ever heard, or I read it on the bottom line, Saban saying that they got to reevaluate and figure out. It's also reevaluate and figure out.
It's tough. What's a big word?
It is. I could have, and figure out who's the quarterback because they don't know.
They ain't got one, bro.
They may not even have one there. Yeah, that's weird.
They ain't got one, bro, because Jalen Milroe apparently ain't that dude. They went with Tyler Buckner in the Notre Dame transfer. He was trash. And then they went with the third string guy whose name I can't even remember. And he was no bueno either, which means they're probably going back to Jalen Milroe. And Nick Saban doesn't know what to do because I think Nick may have made one of the largest mistakes, one of the largest gambles that didn't pay off in his entire career as a head coach. And that mistake was that I think that Nick Saban just assumed that one of the top-tier transfer portal quarterbacks was going to come to Tuscaloosa. Why wouldn't they? We are Alabama. Why would they not come here? And then that didn't happen.
Poof.
Tyler Van Dyke decided not to leave Miami. Devin Leary, who, by the way, if you didn't watch that Kentucky game this weekend, Devin Leary clearly has established some sort of connection to an ethereal plane and is capable of summoning black magic anytime that 2 or more defenders get into his backfield, because that dude was coming up with plays out of his left butt cheek to get out of danger, and then no big deal, score touchdowns. Devin Leary's a dude, and I tried to tell you guys he was a dude, and he is the reason that South Carolina, Kentucky is going to be a damn game. Speaking of the fact that that's going to be a game, I think I am now confident. I think I am now comfortable to issue hot take number 1.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Spencer Rattler's the best quarterback in the Southeastern Conference, Lonzo, and I don't particularly think it's close anymore.
That's not a hot take, dude.
That's just a statement?
Yeah, that's just, I mean, we all saw it.
Spence, in the first half of that game, looked real good. Spence in the second half of that game did not look real good. Now, there's a reason for that. We're going to get into the X's and O's and the deep dive analysis of that game later on in the radio broadcast. But let's start with this. Georgia in the first half was playing a straight up standard defense, and South Carolina diced them. In the second half, Georgia said, oh, wait a minute. They can't run. They can't run. And if they can't run, we only have to stop one dimension. We've only got to stop the pass. And they sold out on stopping the pass. And then all of the sudden, the dogs came storming back and knocked down the Gamecocks. That's rough. But I'm going to say this. Much to the chagrin of the great one, Lonzo, I am happy, I am ecstatic to tell you that South Carolina accomplished on Saturday a morale victory.
Nope.
Not a moral victory, a morale victory.
Nope.
The morale victory, without a doubt, established by the Gamecocks, because they went in there, and when Georgia was playing traditional base style defense, South Carolina diced. And if they can do that against Georgia's defense, they can do that against most defenses. Because compared to Georgia's defense, everybody else's defense is so the Gamecocks just showed in a very hostile environment of Athens, Georgia, that they could go up there and they could go toe-to-toe. Now, Gamecocks, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, all right? Because I also have to point out that the weaknesses in the game were established. The weaknesses in the game were highlighted. The weaknesses in the game of Shane Beamer's boys were exploited. And the bad news for you moving forward is that everybody else that's left on the schedule saw it. Everybody else that's left between you and pay dirt, and that includes that Clemson Tiger team.
Hey, Rob. Is there any defense left on the schedule better than Georgia?
Lonzo?
I'm talking to America here.
You got it. Again, let me ask the question. Any defense left on South Carolina's schedule as good or even close to Georgia's defense?
Lonzo, there is no defense left in America that is on tier with that, with the exception of maybe like Michigan's, maybe Ohio State's, maybe FSU's, maybe. But no, I don't think there's any defenses left on the Gamecock schedule as good as Georgia. Here's the problem. You don't have to be an exceptional run defense to stop South Carolina's run. You just got to be an average run defense to stop South Carolina's run.
Here's what I think. If South Carolina looks at what Georgia did to them as far as short passes, pop passes, little dinks and dunks, if South Carolina does that, then you get the get the ball in the hands of the guys who can do something with the ball, who are not running backs but receivers. So you do that a little bit.
I mean, again, it's wonderful to say. It's wonderful to say. But if I'm selling out on the pass, if I'm putting 2 on Leggett and 2 on Juice, who, by the way, that's if
Rob,
Juice comes back.
Hey, Rob, didn't South Carolina's defense stop Georgia from scoring in the first half except for 3 points?
They did.
I mean, I think there was a missed field goal in there too, but still, I mean, they did do that.
Easily the most impressive performance of South Carolina.
Who's the best? I'm not buying into the morale thing, but who's the best offense that they're going to have to go against the rest of the year?
Hell, based on what I saw this weekend, freaking Florida, apparently.
Okay, for one game. I mean, let's not get ahead of. I mean, it's one game. Come on, Florida.
Kentucky's with Devin Leary. Clemson's with Cade Klubnik because Cade learned how to throw
for one game. We'll see what he does this Saturday when he faces real competition, or at least what I've been told is real competition. We're gonna find out because it's here, and on noon Saturday, we're gonna find out. The best time slot ever.
66 on the board last week, 48 on the board this week.
Against who?
Against Charleston Southern and FAU. Now they got the Noles coming to the house. The Noles, who, by the way, struggled against Boston College. But as I tried to tell Lonzo this morning, it was Red Bandana Day at BC. That's like their thing. Forget homecoming. Forget all the rest of it. Red Bandana Day is the day that the Eagles always seem to show out. Like that's their Super Bowl. FSU still look bad. All right.
So in the end, South Carolina does not have an offense like Georgia that they'll have to face the rest of the year. So if their defense can play like they did in the first half against Georgia, they're good. If their offense, they don't need a running game if they do what I said. I mean, just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
All right. So couple of things here. All right. Couple of things here. Number one, Georgia's offense is good, but it is not elite level. It is very good, but it is not elite. It's not. Carson Beck is not elite. They are not what they were last year. Schrader at Syracuse, who, by the way, if you didn't see it, had the prettiest fake play action handoff naked boot touchdown I've ever seen in my life. If you didn't see the touchdown, that dude wrapped around after a play fake on, go watch it. It's art. They should hang that GIF in the Louvre. It's so pretty.
Excuse me. Did you say pretty and naked?
At the same time.
Wow.
It's a good Saturday. Dennis Leary. Yes, Dennis Leary at Kentucky is.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you positive?
Yes, it's Dennis
so
Leary.
Why are you looking it up?
Right?
Why are you looking it up?
Dennis Leary.
He's still looking at. Are you absolutely positive?
It's Devin.
Wow.
But for a second, I'm like, wait, no, that's Lonzo's in my head, head.
Was I?
Lonzo. Okay. So that's going to be dangerous. Kentucky's dangerous. Clemson's dangerous all of the sudden. All right. Now you're right. We got to see him do it against Florida State. But that offense for Clemson looks a hell of a lot better than it did 2 weeks ago. You can't argue with that. That's just a fact.
Yeah, you can't argue with the strength of opponent. Wow, mighty were the last two opponents.
We're going to talk about all of that and more. Why? Because it's Monday, and it is Hot Take Monday.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
So I'm looking for your hot takes, dudes. I want them. We got a bunch of people over in the chat right now. Daddy-O, the Mad Chatter, JD, Steven, Brandon, Chris. They're all up in the chat already, and we want you to be as well by going to facebook.com/thefanupstate, going to YouTube and searching and subscribing to the Fan Upstate, or going to Twitch and searching and subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. We're going live all 3 hours every day of the week except tomorrow when I'm not here because I will be
by the way, the
recovering.
show is still going to happen tomorrow. I mean, Rob's not going to be here, but the show is still, well, it might be Cowboys all 3 hours, but the show is still going to happen tomorrow. Listen, you can play that, but here's the thing: you're acting like the show doesn't exist when you're not here.
I said I won't be here. The show will still.
I know what I heard. They know what they heard.
Are y'all streaming all 3 hours tomorrow? Because
Why-
what I said was we stream all 3 hours of the show every day
Why,
this week.
why
except for
wouldn't we?
tomorrow.
Why wouldn't
Okay, go ahead. Who you got? You got Cole B up in
we?
here tomorrow?
Yeah, unfortunately, but
You can
but
put
still,
Cole B up on the stream. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah, because man, I look good next to him. So of
He is
course I'm
a-
gonna put him up on the screen.
He is a media superstar. He really is. The host of the Saturday Morning Scramble.
I don't know. It's like
From
deer,
8 to
it's
10 every
it's
Saturday right
deer
here on the Fan
season,
Upstate.
so his attention. We'll see tomorrow.
All right, here's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back here in just a moment from right now, yes, I am looking for your hot takes
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
from the weekend. I am looking for your hot takes. What did you take away from your game? What did you take away from your rivals' games? What did you take away from college football? We got to talk Dion and the Colorado Buffaloes get a win over the Colorado State Rams. We're going to talk about that later in the show. We are going to talk about Cade Klubnik because dude was spinning the rock a little bit. And we got to talk about what Cade and the Clemson offense did this weekend. So stick around for that. We're going to talk Monday Night Football because the Saints are at Carolina up in Charlotte. The Saints trying to rob the bank. The Panthers trying to defend this house. Click, clack. All that more coming up on the Rob Brown Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. Let's have some fun on the Fan Upstate.
You see.
All right, guys, I've got a live read right here. You guys stay right there, and we'll be right back.
Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the fan fest.
So I'm learning that there's a problem with wearing a hat, and it's this. And I've done that several times. I haven't done it violently enough for it to come on the air, but it's bothering me.
All right.
Wait, there's a kickoff show at Dave and Buster's.
Sure is.
Didn't know about that kickoff show. Oh, wait, is that Diesel's show?
It sure is. The bearded one, my dudes.
Why would I go to a Diesel show? I get a lot of Diesel every day. And you can only have so much Diesel.
With that attitude.
No, man. I don't make appearances unless I get paid. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who I am? I don't do that.
That's Lonzo.
That's
my
I don't
dudes.
do. I don't do that. I mean, come on. No, I will be. I might be at that establishment later on this week for my birthday.
If you want
So,
Lonzo to be your companion, you pay for it.
well, what? Don't expect a good evening unless you got those dollars. Sorry, JD. I will make an appearance at some point when they decide, to pay for us to make an appearance again. It's maybe someday. No, I am going to the knee doctor today, and we'll see what the knee doctor says. And so then I'll have to come back and get my work done that I'm missing because I'm going to the knee doctor. And then I need to go home and cook supper. So, but really the reason why I'm going is because I'm not going is because I don't want to. And I will be at that establishment later on in the week. Diesel does an awesome job at everything he does, though. So I'm not. I think there may be some other dude that's on there with him that's actually pretty good too. So, yeah, that's totally different though. Diesel would never invite me to anything. Are you kidding? I don't bring the party. I bring the party down. That's why you don't. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are looking for you right now. We are looking for you on the text line. The carpros.com text line is 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, and we'll read them on the air. Yeehaw! We're also looking for your phone calls at 844-326-3663, 844-326-3663. Jump on the phone lines. And, of course, X/post/thread/tweet me, bro, at The Rob Brown Show, at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo Onward, or get to everybody at The Fan Upstate. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on just another Manic Monday, looking for your hot takes. We want to know what your hot take is from the weekend.
Why do you hit that button like a DJ? You do. You just
wiki.
You hit that button like a DJ.
Scratch. I don't know. I'm in the vibe. It's Monday morning. I'm in the zone. Mondays during football season are great, right? Mondays in the offseason of football are dicey. They're iffy. It depends on what's going on and everything else in sports, right? During the NBA Finals, Mondays can be fun if you had good games over the weekend. But Mondays during a football season are always great. And part of the reason why is because I honestly thought, Lonzo, that Saturday college football was going to suck. It was a boring slate. Turns out, no, it wasn't, and it didn't. It was a great slate. It didn't look like it on paper. But much like me, you look at me and you don't see very much. But then when you get to know me, things turn around. Oh, hey, you know what I forgot to do?
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a joke.
Ouch, but okay.
There's a joke there.
Okay,
I'm not
all
gonna say it though.
Okay.
And pot,
Listen,
kettle, all that kind of stuff. But
I'm not much to look at. But when you get to know me,
Hello, ladies.
So now that I've played that clip, let me awkwardly transition into saying happy birthday to my mom. How about Saints Panthers worked out well? She flew up. She's in Charlotte right now because we are going to the game this evening. Happy birthday to Rhonda, who turns, I'm not telling you how many years of age today because she'll kill me. But
happy birthday, Rhonda. You know what? It's a very good week to have a birthday. That's all I'm saying. I mean, some of the best people have birthdays this week.
Listen, I'm not taking off Wednesday just to be here for somebody else's birthday celebration. But today, it is Rhonda's day. Happy birthday, Mom. When I say I would not be here without her, I mean that both literally because of the whole being my mom thing. Yeah. But when everything got turned sideways in Jacksonville, that woman stopped everything to help bail me out and make sure that I could end up here in the GVL. So
You don't mean
offer-
literally, right?
No, not
Okay,
literally drop stuff.
Okay, no, I meant bail you out.
Yeah.
Let's-
I
guys.
never went to jail. Fortunately, I was
All
close,
right.
but I never went
All
to
right.
jail. So you all have her to blame or thank for me being here, depending on which side of the spectrum you fall on. But happy birthday to the mom, to the madre.
Thank you for helping me, Rhonda, by giving me a host that I can have fun with.
True. And we do. All right. It's hot take time, ladies and gentlemen. It's hot take time. We are looking for your hot takes. We want them on the carpros.com. Text line 71307 on the phone.
Are you gonna read Diddy's hot takes?
Yes,
He's
I'm coming to it.
okay, because he's gonna keep sending them to us if you don't want to. I mean,
Oh, it's hot
no,
takes.
they're good ones. I just want to make sure he doesn't get left out.
844-326-3663 is the call-in number. 71307 is the text line number. Start that text with fans so we can read them on the air. And tweet them to me at the Rob Brown Show. Texter says, Rob, I'm the dude in the car beside you shooting you the bird because the Bills win. Go Bills. Oh, I see Kevin's back. We missed you, Kev.
He was gone for a
Where
while.
you been, Kev?
Yeah.
The Bills get smoked in week 1. Kev is nowhere to be found. They get a big dub in week 2, and Kev's back on the text line. I like it. That's fine. Texter said, hot take. Oh, I got to find the second half of this one. Fan, hot take. No one more than me loves a flamboyant heel such as Macho Man Randy Savage, but I can't stand a coach that turns heel. They have a good thing going. I think their victories would be way more epic if they could just play the humble coach that leaves the smack talk with yards and TDs from Dan Dan the Superfan Man. And I'm got to assume
Who's they? Who's they?
right. I got to assume because he does not attach what coach he's talking about here, but I feel like there's probably only one. And I feel like he's got to be talking about Dion, which I'm really glad you brought that up, Dan Dan, the Superfan Man, because I have got 2 clips from Dion that are not from Saturday's game that I want to play for you. And these 2 audio clips won me over to Team Dion. And I'm going to play them for you later. And I'm going to let you hear him. I don't want to see if they win you over like he won me over.
You faked the throw, man. That's just, I mean.
I like Dion now. Now.
Have you seen the latest video of his mom in the locker room?
I have not.
Oh, you got to see that.
Oh, I will. I'll go find it during the break. Texter said, how about the Triumph clinching that USL League One playoff spot, run the table, win it all, 2023 champs? I'm all in, boys. We need to get Harksey back on the show this week. Maybe Thursday or Friday, we'll get John Harks on the show. Texter said, hot take. Anthony Richardson won't last 3 seasons.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
I don't know about that. Because AR looked good until he got his bell rung. And now, granted, he got his bell rung because of a very easy to make mistake. Because he thought on that second touchdown run of the first quarter that he was going into the end zone scot-free. The strong safety shed the block. It was one-on-one. He smoked AR, and he didn't even get hurt from the hit. He got hurt because when he came down, his head bounced off the turf. Here's what I liked about Anthony Richardson. AR was not put on the spot by coaches or trainers or the independent neurological analysts on the sideline. AR realized that his head was foggy, that it wasn't working the way it was supposed to. AR went to the coaching staff, and Anthony Richardson checked himself out. That is a mature decision. They went to Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew came in. What did he go, like 16 of 22 for $170 and a touch? Not a bad day for the mulleted one.
The mania showed up when
It
it
did.
had to.
I loved it. I love that Anthony Richardson, I said, I can't give us the best chance to win. I got to hit the sideline. I respect that. That being said, that is a welcome to the league, learn how to run smarter moment is what that was. Texter said, Rob, hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Russell Wilson isn't the problem. It's him high.
That's funny.
You good?
That's funny. That's funny.
Russell Wilson is part of the problem in Denver. It's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is you brought in a head coach who've been away from the game for a little while. All right. And I'm going to get accused based on solely what I'm wearing that this is sour grapes. It's not, because he doesn't coach my team anymore. So I don't care. But I think you brought in a head coach who thought that he was taking over a Super Bowl ready roster, and it's not. And it's not. And it showed. And it showed. Texter said, Rob, I got a hot take. Oregon is going to boat race Colorado this weekend. You're not getting the sounder, Texter, because that's not a hot take. All right. Now, I'll say this. Do I think Colorado can make it a game? Sure do. Sure do. Let me go pull up what that line is, but I can't imagine that line is going to be too ridiculously high, right? I got to think that line right now. What do you think? Oregon minus what, Lonzo, 8.5? Take a stab at that one.
5.
Let's see. Minus 21.
Really?
3
Really?
touchdown favorites go the Ducks over the Buffs.
You know what that is?
Disrespect.
That is, he's going to use that. What's wrong with you people? I mean,
You know what?
every
what those
week
people,
they're giving them something.
Lonzo, you know what those people in Vegas did? They just made it
Personal.
Deion's leaning into that. You got to lean away from it, but it is what it is. We'll see. Texter said, Rob, the Gamecocks themselves made the Tar Heels defensively look better. So careful with that. I don't know, man. I still think the Tar Heels are pretty good, right? They're pretty good. They're not great. I never said they were going to be elite. I said they were going to be pretty good. That is still a good North Carolina Tar Heel football program. But I think at this point, it is pretty obvious and not a hot take to say the Gamecocks can't run the football. And if the Gamecocks can't run the football, there's a lot of games like, let me put it this way. Here is the hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Lonzo, the Gamecocks could, and I mean this, the Gamecocks could win every game remaining on their schedule and could also lose every game remaining on their schedule. I mean that. Every game on this schedule is winnable, and every game on this schedule is losable for the Gamecocks.
I don't know about all that, but I see your point. I don't know about the losing part.
Can they lose to Mississippi State?
No.
Stop it.
No.
Stop
They're
it.
They're not losing that.
I didn't say they're not. I said, can they lose to Mississippi
All right.
State?
So in theory, any team can lose to another team.
Realistic. All right. You're just going to be the hype.
No, I'm not. I'm not
I
trying
respect
to.
it.
I'm not trying to be a. I mean, I don't have my Gamecock gear on right now, but I'm not going to act like I'm unbiased. They do have a shot to win the rest of their games because the competition is nowhere near Georgia.
All right. I will.
And they were able to beat Georgia for one half. If you can beat Georgia for one half, that's the equivalent of beating all those other teams for a full game.
All right. I will, as Thanos said,
according to
do
your
it myself.
according to your morale victory meter, they're good
I
for
will
the rest
do
of
it
the season.
myself. That's fine.
Hey Rob, can you go down to the soccer team and like find a running back? I know you can do that for a kicker. Can you is there another team that you can like pull somewhat? Do they have a rugby team?
That's a good question.
Because I'm guessing there might be a couple guys on the rugby team that could actually run the football.
All right.
I gotta look it up.
Can they lose to Mississippi State? You're damn right they can. That's a physical team. They're not good, but they're very physical. And if they can stuff the pass game and make South Carolina one-dimensional, lean on the run, they can lose that game. Can they lose to Tennessee? I know Tennessee just got boat raced by Florida in Gainesville, but this game's at Neyland. They can lose that game. Can they lose at home against Florida? You're damn right they can. You just saw what Florida did. Can they lose at Mizzou? Well, Mizzou just beat a ranked and undefeated team at their house, and this game's in the other Columbia. So, yes, can they lose at A&M? I don't believe in Jimbo and A&M, but this game's at Kyle Field, and the Colt will be up for that one. They can lose that game. The only game on the schedule that I'd circle and go, hey, probably can't lose this, is Jacksonville State. But I'm going to be real with you. That's a good physical run stuff team. Is it losable? Not likely, but certainly possible. Is it possible to lose against Vanderbilt? Probably not. But yes. Is it possible to lose versus Kentucky? Devin Leary's a dude. You're damn right it is. And is it possible to lose to Clemson? Obviously. But I would also say the inverse is true. It is very possible to go into Mississippi State, play first half against Georgia ball, and the Gamecocks win that game. It is very possible that Tennessee can't sell out to stop the pass like Georgia could, and you win that game. I can do it all the way down the schedule. The hot take right now for the Gamecocks of South Carolina is that for the rest of the year, I can realistically see a loss in every game, but I can also realistically see a dub in every game as well. We'll get back to that later on as well. Texas said, Rob, hot take, Mario Anderson needs to be RB1. He at least is a downhill runner. He can get 3 to 4. That's not a hot take. That's a statement of fact. That is a statement of fact. Mario Anderson needs to be RB1, pardon me. He needs to be RB1. I love Dak Joyner. I like him as a dude. I like him as a player. He is selfless. He is invaluable. He is also not an every down running back. You cannot lean on Dak to be an every down running back. It's not going to work. You've got to make the switch. You got better, not great, but better offensive line play out of the Gamecocks OL. It's still not good enough, and it's certainly not good enough for when Dak Joyner's in the backfield. Mario Anderson needs to be the number one. I could not agree more. I like this hot take. Text just said, hot take!
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
The rain cost the Gamecocks the upset. I tweeted when the rain started coming down. I tweeted out, it could not come at a worse time for South Carolina. It could not have come at a worse time because the Gamecocks were beating Georgia how? Doing exactly what I said they needed to do. Shift the pocket left and right. Quick passes, slants, inside routes. Get the ball into and then very quickly out of the hands of Spencer Rattler and let his throwing ability carry you. And South Carolina was doing that, and then the rain started. And the rain kills a quick strike aerial offense. That's exactly what happened. Now, it sucks, but that's football. That's football. I don't like it. I hate rain games. I'll be the one that says it. I hate rain games because I don't care what team is better at not dropping a wet football. I care about what team's better at football. And for 30 minutes, South Carolina was better at football. Then the rain came down. They had to adjust everything they were doing to compensate for it. It is what it is. Texter said, hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
South Carolina will finish 3-9 or 4-8. I'm not there yet. But I could see 5-7. I could also see 8-4. And I can see anywhere in the middle. There are games left to be won. Vanderbilt can be beat even with South Carolina playing basic ball. Jacksonville State is another win. All right? There are wins out there. But now to beat Clemson, to beat Kentucky, to beat Mizzou, to beat Florida, South Carolina has to ramp up the game. And also hope it doesn't rain.
So you want football to be baseball. If it rains, just got to stop the game.
No, it's never going to work that way.
Yeah,
but, yes, I hate games in the rain. Games in the rain are not games. Games in the rain
still
become
games.
No, they're not.
Games. They absolutely are. It's just, come on, dude.
Games in the rain suck. They're boring, and they change the game.
Quit trying to change my game.
It does not surprise me.
You're trying to change the game.
The only conference who likes them are Big Ten guys. Just put fat guys on fat guys, and let's see which fat guys can push the other fat guys further.
I don't think
that's Big Ten football.
No, Big Ten football exists on the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking to America here.
And it never rains in California. So
sunny California.
So we good.
I hate rain games. I do. Texas said, hot take. This actually, Lonzo, this is a hot take. Hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Travis Hunter caught that smoke because of their jump talking.
Oh, that's not a hot take.
That's true.
That's absolutely true.
Oh, yeah.
It was fired up on both sides, and it's a rivalry game. You don't put that kind of stuff out there and not expect that kind of game.
Yep. Shador Sanders went for the old MJF eye poke, which, by the way, of the entire thing that happened in that game, that was the one thing where I'm like, can't do that, bro.
All right, so I've had that happen to me before.
It sucks.
And for an entire week, they made me stay in my stance and let someone jump off and hit me. I'm like, why are you doing? Am I being punished? And then like one of the first plays, and this was in high school, guy jumped off sides and poked me in my eyes.
Yep.
I mean, just
The eye gouge.
yeah.
The old Ric Flair, I'm in trouble, and the ref's got his back turned.
If I could have seen that guy, which I could not. By the way, I was in on a tackle, but I couldn't see. They had because everything just went blurry. It's like, man, I'm going to get that guy. Not saying that vengeance is okay on the football field, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Daddy-O just asked the South Carolina question that I was going to ask. Where the hell was Nick Harbor? Where the hell was the 5-star, 6'5" recruit that you throw it up and let him climb the ladder and go get it? Why did I not see Nick Harbor involved in this offense when you had Georgia's back against the wall?
Is he on the team?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, he caught a touchdown back in week 2.
Oh, okay.
Remember the one Lenora Sellers
This
threw?
was week 2.
I mean, week 3. What, week
Week
1? No,
one. Week one.
this was week 3. Yeah, week 2.
Was it week 3?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, it is. It is. No, you're right. I apologize for the confusion. I was wrong. You were right.
It just confused me. I feel like I got it, though. I feel like we got it together. Nick Harbor's got a touchdown reception on the season. Yes, he's on the team. He's got a TD. He got a tutty. And yet, MIA in the Georgia game. I will, like, honestly, I hope, if she has not already, I hope Emily Adams asked Shane Beamer to his face, where the hell was Nick Harbor? Don't phrase it like that, Emily. All right? Don't phrase it like that. But definitely ask him, where was Nick Harbor? Because I didn't get that. James said, hot take, CJ Stroud will be great for the Texans over time. I don't think that's a hot take either. He and Anthony Richardson, sorry to say it, it's only been one game for Carolina, but both Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud, Lonzo, have looked better than Bryce Young out of the gate. I think both of them have, and it has nothing to do
Well,
with his height.
he's only played one game, dude.
I just said that. It's only been one
he's only
game.
played one game. We're going to find out what happens tonight when they go up against that mighty team
Just
from
said
a
it's only
couple
been one game.
states over, that French team. When the Panthers play that French team, that
Let's
team
go,
from
boys.
France.
Let's go, boys. All
That
right.
team, when they talk, and it's I was speaking Cajun.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
as close as I
my
could. do.
reaction was because that's very rude.
Was
That's
it?
very rude,
Hey,
Alonzo.
hey,
That's my family you're talking about.
my mom taught me that.
Diddy says he's got some hot takes.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Number 1, Mike Venditti says Belichick is cooked. He won't be coaching New England in 2024. I don't think he will either, but I don't think he gets fired. I think he just says, I'm done. I'm out. Can't do it. Can't do it. Mac ain't the dude. They won't get me somebody else. Team's not good enough. I'm out. I can't do it. Hot take number 2, Gamecocks only lose one more game in 2023, and it won't be at Rocky Top in 2 weeks. Nope, can't ride on that one, Diddy. That is a hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
There is no chance this team is going 10-2. None. 0% chance. I hope I'm wrong. 0% chance this team's going 10-2.
What would you do, Rob?
Or
if
9-3.
If they went 10-2, what would you do?
I will probably replay me saying that in 2.5 months and then going, oh, look at that. I was wrong.
Okay.
How
All
about
right,
that?
All right. So no consequences.
This job is consequenceless. That's why it's so much fun. That's why there's so many hot takers. Keegan says, break, Robert. Okay. Time to take a break. More hot takes on the other side. We'll react to Colorado State, Clemson, FAU, South Carolina, Georgia. We'll react to all of the NFL games from week 2 and get you set up for Monday Night Football week 3. And we give you more hot takes as the show rolls on. It's Rob, it's Lonzo, it's you, it's the Rob Brown Show. Ladies, gentlemen, it's Monday on the Fan Upstate.
Thank you for getting it, James. That's exactly what I was doing. So, yeah. What?
We got a compliment.
From who?
The boss.
Which one? Ah, yeah.
He said, fantastic show, great topics, excellent takes, love the drops. Yeah.
I don't know if you should have said that on the stream. I mean, because
Thanks, boss. Appreciate it.
No,
Hey,
it's
listen.
it's us against the world, man.
That's
That
what-
wasn't even him.
I've always
That's-
said as a worker, I don't need you to tell me what I'm doing right. I just need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Doesn't mean I don't love to hear it.
Wow, he actually sent it to me too. Weird. Now the question is, can we handle a compliment this early? Is it all downhill after that? Because compliments are a whole lot harder to deal with. Rob don't even know where he is. He just came in and went right back out. Ooh, games in the snow. Yeah. They really suck. Rain games, I'm okay with. Snow games, you can get rid of snow games. Rain games, I'm okay with. Snow games you can get with. Fog games, I'm good with fog games. There is nothing like just a straight up mud game, especially when you're wearing your whites and you get out there. And then after the game, you got to throw some people who are still white into the mud so they can also partake.
Elements.
You know, the mud game is almost like WWE back in the day. It's just so much fun. No. Get all kinds of hot takes. We can, Keegan. We're going to have to do that eventually. I mean, they're both pretty old. They're going to leave. They're going to leave at some point.
Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
See more proof. I mean, we got snow games are not when you can't feel your feet. I mean, and when you hit someone and the cold hits back. No, Chris, I don't live there anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't get cold like that here. Your home field advantage should be determined by God. Why not? Steven, I hate snow more than all of Rob's hatred put into one bit of hatred. We're talking Urban, Babies, Tim Tebow, Jacksonville, old people. You squeeze all that hate into one. And I hate snow more than that.
So I put up a video.
No, dude. Roger, today he's a Saints fan. I'm a Panthers fan. Don't read into what I wear other than today I wore this to counter that. We're playing each other today. We'll do this again at least one more time. If it's more than one, that'd be kind of cool, but it's probably not going to happen because the Saints aren't going to make the playoffs. So. I was quiet there so you could respond. Just nothing. He's seething. He's red under that hat.
Well, you said
the cheeks are speckled.
You said like 4 different things that I have to respond to.
Just keep talking, you know, because he doesn't understand the art of interrupting like I do. You think he would learn it after almost 40? How many years we've been together? I don't know. How long have you been here? He doesn't know that either.
No, I'm doing it in my head. March will be 4 years.
Okay. So we've been together coming up on 3. In December, it'll be 3. If we make it that far. I mean, you know. I might get traded again. It can happen.
Yeah. It's Monday morning. Y'all having some good times on the Rob Brown Show here on the Fan Upstate. Rob Alonzo with you. So we are running through your weekend hot takes. You can call us at 844-326-3663 or text them to the carpros.com text line at 71307. Texter said, hot take.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Colorado is beatable as long as the opposing team shuts up.
Do you count Vegas in that, though?
Yeah, so here's the problem you're going to bump into. The problem you're going to bump into is Deion has an incredible ability to make anything personal and then get his team to buy into it being personal.
It's the Jordan effect.
Yeah.
It's very effective.
If there are no bad guys, make one up. If there are no boogeymen, make one up. People do this in our real lives all the time, right? Like, this is not something that is exclusive to Deion Sanders. People all the time have something go wrong in their life, and it can't be me. It can't be my bad decision-making. So they will make up something that they place the blame on. No. I didn't have this thing go wrong because I made some bad decisions and took bad actions to bring me here. No. It was somebody else. It was that group or that guy or that politician or that attorney. It was them. Deion just does it better than anybody else and gets his whole team to buy into it. That's where that comes from. But you're not wrong. Again, I've said it a number of times. If I have a game coming up against Deion Sanders in Colorado, I'm keeping my damn mouth shut, right? Like, you know what I'm doing if I'm Dan Lanning, the Oregon Ducks hosting the Buffs? All I'm doing all week is talking about how incredible Deion Sanders is. He's an incredible athlete.
What a great
incredible
story
dude.
it is, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great story. He is tipping college football on its head, and I think it's for the best. His team is amazing. Hell, I don't even know if we can compete with the Colorado Buffalo. Like, make it as he's still going to find something, and you got to be prepared for that. But here's the problem. It's working. It's working. You know how I know it's working? Did you watch Colorado State? More importantly, did you watch the beginning of the game? Not the kickoff. I mean, the 20 minutes leading up to the game. Did you see when Lil Wayne rapped the Buffs out of the locker room?
It didn't start there, by the way. It started earlier on McAfee's show.
Bro, it started on First Take Friday morning. Deion was on First Take, and then he was on McAfee, and then he was on some other show on Fox, I think, and then he was on Sports Center, and then on Saturday he was on College Game Day. And they always have the head coach of the team at home. They always have them come on for a few minutes, right? They made the whole thing about Deion. Then what did they do? They brought out The Rock to gush over Deion. Have you ever seen, in all the years of Game Day, have you ever seen a celebrity drop like The Rock coming out to kiss up on Deion? Never seen it. It was unbelievable, right?
Well, there are some things that are favorable to make that happen, like the writer's strike, and
Sure.
I mean, the thing is,
I'm gonna go. You bring in The Rock because you put The Rock on any television camera you can get.
And SmackDown was
in Colorado,
and he was
which
on that too. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about later. But here's the thing. First off, the nation hates Deion because stuff. I saw somebody yesterday. Oh, the nation's hating on Deion because he's a successful black man. No, he's not. No, yes, he is obviously that. He's not being hated on, is what I'm saying.
Who's hating on Deion?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know anyone that goes, oh man, can we stop talking about? I mean, I'm sure there's
I know
out
some
there.
of those people, but they are the vast minority. The vast minority. Deion Sanders has gotten more love over the past 4 days than anybody else in America, right? But I want to talk, and we'll do this coming up here in just a minute, about the fact that Deion is doing something I have been telling college football coaches to do for 3 years now. And it's working, and I'll tell you what it is when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. So I don't mean to be problematic here, but that drop featured Luke Kuechly, retired, J.C. Horn, injured reserve, DJ Chark, out for this game.
Yeah, I know.
What a lineup.
I know. I heard it.
And it's nobody's fault. That's just unlucky.
It's just a coinkydink.
It's just unlucky. I have 2 Dion clips in the folder that
Yeah,
we're going to
I
come
know.
to.
Remember, because I had them ready early, and you faked the throw. It made it sound like you were going to it.
It's play action.
Is that what it was? Well, I bit. You know, the bad part is you're not going to make it up till the end of the game, so you record it, and then it goes into a lengthy overtime, and that part doesn't record. I managed to stay away from the score because I just stayed off of social media Sunday morning, and then I'm watching it, and then I'm like, "Oh, they're coming back! Oh, they just tied the game!" And then coin toss, recording done. It's like, oh. Obviously, I looked it up then after that, but I did watch the entire game, just not live because old. And as someone mentioned earlier, I think it was James, that I might be in assisted living next year because of my age.
Have you heard of the Gables on Pelham, Lonzo?
I have. I've heard of that. My wife's going to be in Florida here in a month visiting with family, and she's going to be near the Village. So, I mean, maybe I told her she needs to check it. The Villages. She needs to check that out. You've been to the Villages before?
I have not, but it is, and I don't know if you know this, the STD capital of Florida.
I wasn't unaware. So all the old people doing stuff.
Doing the nasty.
Okay.
Emphasis
Literally.
on the nasty.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, yeah, we're going to die soon
It
anyway.
is
I mean,
something
why does it
like-
matter?
I can't remember the exact stats, but the Villages has something like a 77%
I'm going to have
herpes
to,
rate.
well, I mean, that's all. Are they? No, come on.
Let's see. Here is from News 4 out of Jacksonville.
You really looked it up. Okay.
Yeah, we get weird on this show.
No, are you serious? It's an important story if he's looking up something from Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah, even information from Jacksonville sucks.
P Digits, I also pull for the Kansas City Chiefs because I have an AFC team and an NFC team, and no one can tell me how to fan them. I mean, you can try to tell me how to fan them, but I don't care what you say. I'm not being specific towards you, but there are people, like maybe even on the station, who think they can tell you how to be a fan. So
the Florida Department of Health says that is an urban myth and that the Villages is at the bottom of Florida communities for STD cases per 100,000 residents.
Wow, they're at the bottom. So they still have them, just not as much
just
as
not
as much
yeah.
as other places. Okay.
Well, there you go. There's some incorrect information contained in the brain of Rob Brown that is now corrected. That's why I Google stuff, because I would rather be right. Hey, is that WWE Intercontinental Champion Darin General?
It is Gunther, our friend Gunther.
I remember when I said that to him and he smiled like this guy gets it. I felt so good.
See, I only remember when I asked him if he made people cry. Because I'm more sadistic, I guess. Now every time I see Chris Statlander, I'm like, she likes popcorn.
Stat. What a match her and Britt put together.
Bourbon and Bacon Fest, something like that in the
10-4.
first break. Come on, Roger. What's wrong with you people?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rob Brown.
I'm talking to America here.
And we're talking to America here. What a moment that was.
That was so good. That was
Back
so
up,
good.
Gino. I'm talking to America here. I thought Tony Romo was going to fall out of the play-by-play booth. Or whoever that guy was on color. Was it Romo? No, it wasn't Romo. Who was on color that game? It doesn't matter. But the ref...
They're all Romo copiers now anyway, so might as well be Romo.
Romo's been better this year, though, right? Like last year, there was a massive fall from grace. Year one, Tony Romo was like a gift to color commentary. Year two, he fell off, and everyone was like, he stopped doing his homework. And it feels like he's back.
I don't think I've watched a Romo game this year.
I watched his game yesterday. He was on, Dallas Jets yesterday. And I thought honestly, I thought it was kind of a get-right game for him.
See, I knew how bad that game was going to be and how excited some Dallas fans were going to be. So, I just not people in this building presently, because those Dallas fans are awesome, but one in particular that I'm going to have to deal with for 3 hours tomorrow, who's already confirmed
Cole B is
that
back,
that we're getting 3 hours of that. We're probably not, because I'll do my best to make sure that doesn't happen. But
good luck. Good luck telling a Cowboys fan not to talk Cowboys.
Hey Rob, I do this thing you probably haven't noticed where I kind of like interrupt and redirect. So yeah, we're good.
I've noticed. I've developed my developed my ways around it.
It's not on purpose, by the way. It's a nervous tick.
Sure. Clip number 1. There was a lot of talk this weekend about the great prime time Deion Sanders. Now, Coach Sanders, or depending on how willing you're willing to drop your journalistic standards, Coach Prime, if you will. So Coach Prime was obviously the major discussion point in the land of collegiate football this weekend. And why wouldn't he be? His Buffaloes were 2-0. There was a season win total for the Buffs of 3.5. He's at 3 weeks in. And of course, you had Jay Norvell, who issued a not a big deal, but still a big deal jab last week at Deion. Deion, of course, said, he made it personal. And so everybody was talking Deion to the point that, and I will say this, I love Pat McAfee. I should hate Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee is what I would have been if I had $100 million in the bank to start, as opposed to being a college graduate with debt in a 1-bedroom apartment when I started in this industry. So McAfee.
Hey man, you're no slouch. You've won,
Oh, listen, I'm very
won
happy with
several
where I am.
awards. I mean, you've
sure.
met the fiance.
For sure. I'm very happy with where I am.
You're working in this awesome building, in this awesome area, in this
Correct.
awesome state.
Let me be clear. I'm not diminishing where I am. I'm just saying McAfee is living the life that I did script for myself. You can go back.
There's
and
still
ask,
time, Rob Brown. There's still
I'm not
time.
done.
I mean, because you're acting like it's over.
Not
All right.
at all. I'm
one person has done it, so nobody else can.
I'm trying to pump up McAfee to then get to a point where I have to drag McAfee for a second, because I like the guy, right? I said many years, the dream studio for me is an old basketball gym that I buy and then renovate into a studio that's still a basketball gym. McAfee did that. I've always said the ultimate goal for me is to end up on 2 play-by-play calls. The Saints on Sunday and SmackDown on Friday. McAfee's done that, right? The guy's living the dream. I love Pat McAfee. I am envious of him because he's got the perfect life right now, but I do have to drag a little bit. What Pat McAfee does on Pat McAfee's show, fine, no problem. What McAfee does when he's on the other programming, I do think there is some obligation to some degree to kind of provide entertainment without going too far in one direction or the other. And McAfee, more than anybody else, was making it sound like Jay Norvell told Deion's mama that she sucks, right? He's like, I can't believe Jay Norvell, this idiot, had to go and it's like, dude, he said, take your hat off when you're talking to somebody. Granted, it's a bad take and nobody cares anymore.
I thought he was being sarcastic when he was doing that.
I don't think he was.
I think he was.
But even if he was, it's still like you're basically giving Dion this additional platform that I don't think he knows if he needs it or not. Now, all of that aside, there's a reason Dion has elevated himself to the point where ESPN and Fox and all these other channels are providing him with this platform. And the reason is because he's overperforming. Again, his Vegas over-under for win total was 3.5. He's at 3 games in. There's a reason for that. There's a reason Dion's got the talent. We talked all off season about the fact that Dion rolled, 58 former Buffaloes off the roster and brought in all those transfers to replenish them. And people say, wait a minute. That's not right. That's not right. Whether it is or not, it's subjective. That's up to you to decide. But what I will say is this. The only way that Deion Sanders is capable of doing that is what? If he's got guys that want to come play for him. If he's got guys that he convinced the best place for them to be is Colorado, is Boulder, Colorado. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Boulder, Colorado. I have. I'm going to tell you straight up, it's a beautiful place. The whole state's beautiful.
From what I understand, it's cold there. So,
it is cold. It's in the top of the Rocky Mountains.
Not interested.
But it is a beautiful place. It is scenic. It is gorgeous. The people in Colorado are 10s. It's a beautiful place. But you still got to convince players that being there is the best place to play. So 60 Minutes did a piece on Deion Sanders. 60 Minutes did a profile. Not only did they do a profile on Deion Sanders, Lonzo, they have now done 2 profiles on Deion since he took over. Now, because I'm a giant nerd, I happen to know that there is a long-standing rule, protocol, guideline, if you will, on 60 Minutes that they do not do repeat focus pieces on one person in the same season, right? Basically, if they do a profile on you, you're going to wait another year till they do another one. Not Deion. He is the only one that I am aware of that they have done 2 pieces on within a year. That's how much attention there is on Deion. So they asked Deion, the guy doing the interview asked Deion 2 questions. He said, first one, and I'm going to play the answer to both, because I heard these 2 clips from Deion Sanders, and I went, uh-oh, I'm Team Prime now. And let me tell you why. Clip number 1, Deion Sanders got asked, hey, you played 1 game. This came after the first game against TCU. He said you played 1 game. You got 2 kids who were not mentioned who are now climbing rapidly up the Heisman odds board. How and why? Why are you out there telling the world that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter what's the word I'm looking for here? Deserve. Words are hard for a radio guy. Deserve to be in the Heisman Trophy hunt. And this is how Deion answered.
You've got 2 really good Heisman quality players on this team.
Yes.
Your son and Travis Hunter.
Yes, sir.
First half of the first game of the season, you're already publicly talking about Travis Hunter's Heisman chances. Who does that?
A coach that loves his kids, the coach that understands that's what those kids desire. And I'm supposed to do that. That's what we told them when they were coming and choosing to play for us. My kids that play for me, they didn't choose a university. They chose me. That's the difference.
Gosh, who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? I don't know. Me?
Duh.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you got a duh too? Yeah.
Duh.
That's what I've been telling you coaches need to do. It is not about, we got to go find kids who want to be Tigers or Gamecocks or Knowles or Gators or Volunteers. It's nice if you do.
I missed it.
I'm not. There might be a kid out there who grew up in the shadow of Neyland Stadium, and he doesn't give a damn who the head coach is. He just wants to be a volunteer.
Wait, I was going to thank you for telling me where that was, because I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to get you there.
That was like on Rocky Top or something.
Yes. There might be a kid who grew up in the shadow of Death Valley who he's gonna play for Clemson.
Which I thought you were talking about the real one.
Yeah, I mean, either way. Who grew up in the shadow of Death Valley and said, I'm going to be a Tiger. There, I'll cover all the bases. All right? So, You might have a guy every now and then that just he grew up a fan of the school and he doesn't care who the head coach is. He's a talented player and that's where he wants to be. And that's fine. If you can get that kid, you have still provided him with the thing that's most important to him, being a whatever, a university of blank whatever, or a blank state university whatever. That's great. But I have told you whether you like it or not. With the advent of recruiting becoming international at this point, with Australian punters all over college football, it is not about what the kid can provide to the school. It's what the school can provide to the kid now. And Deion Sanders recognized that. What did he say in that clip? Why are you out there pimping your kid and Travis Hunter as Heisman candidates? And he said, because that's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they deserve. That's what they want. And then he went on to say, and something that I have been trying to tell you people for 3 years now since I got here, the successful head coaches are no longer the ones that go, it is me and the university, and you have to come be a part of this. No, no, no. It is, this is how me and the university, 5-star athlete, are going to get you to the next level. This is what we're going to do for you. And you can sit here and go, well, that's selfish, or that's not how college football works. And that's fine. You know what else you're going to be? Left in the dust. That's it. You have two options here. You can either start saying, how does this university make these kids better? How does this university make their lives better? How does this university advance these kids? Or you can say, why are no 4 and 5 stars coming here anymore? Why are no top tier athletes playing here anymore? And the answer is because in the year 2023, recruiting is about how you make these kids feel, not how you feel about these kids. There's a big difference. And Deion has recognized that. And Deion has jumped headfirst into that part of recruiting, into that mental philosophy of recruiting. And would you look at that? It's working. It's working. And oh, by the way, this is Deion's first year. And granted, he brought a lot of kids in, but I want you to keep in mind the majority of the kids that he brought over were transfers that came from where? Jackson State. Right? These kids came from a second-tier school. And that's all due respect to HBCUs from around the country, because there's some great HBCU ball out there. But they're not Power 5 football programs for a reason. So Deion brings over a bunch of HBCU talent, turns them into studs. What do you think is going to happen when Deion starts going out and finding the 4 and 5-star Power 5 caliber players that look and go, yo, if he did that for Shedeur and Travis, what's he going to be able to do for me? And granted, Travis Hunter was a 5-star recruit. Remember, Mike Norvell at Florida State thought they had him locked down to Tallahassee before Deion called him and said, I bet I can win you a Heisman at an HBCU. And then when Deion jumped to Colorado, Travis went, oh, now I can definitely get one. And he followed him out to Boulder. Imagine what Deion's going to do now that he can recruit and he's got the backing of the University of Colorado. Scratch that, Colorado University in his back pocket. And oh, by the way, suddenly Colorado's got money. Like a lot of money coming in. They got Lil Wayne rapping the team out of the locker room. They got half the damn NBA All-Star team sitting up in the luxury box. They got Offset doing interviews on the sideline. That place was I don't know if you heard the beginning of it. I think his name's Mark Jackson, the guy that was on play-by-play, right? Leading into that game. He said, going into that game, he said,
You sure it wasn't Gus Johnson?
No, it was not Gus Johnson.
You sure?
It was Mark something. I want to say Mark Jackson. No, it was not Gus. I would know if it was Gus.
I watched Gus this weekend on some game.
No, it wasn't
for
that
some
one.
reason I thought it was that one.
I know it was Gus because my volume on my TV would have been set at 1. But I think it was Mark Jackson. It doesn't matter. The play-by-play guy introed the game as they're coming in. It was him and Lewis Riddick. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Boulder, Colorado looks like the site of the BET Awards tonight. And I was like, damn, dude. And then they just started Bro, it was all in. It looked like a party. I went from, man, I'm excited to watch this game. I don't know if I'd want to be caught up in the hype to, damn, I want to be there. Boulder looks like it is hopping tonight. And it was. So Colorado has all this money coming in now from all these people who want to be part of what Deion is doing, and now he gets a recruiting cycle. And what did Deion just say? I'm doing what these kids want. I'm doing what these kids came to play. You know, my favorite part of all that is, how did he refer to them in that clip? My kids. These are my kids, not my players, not Colorado's players, not Colorado's kids. He said, these are my kids. They picked to play for me, not a university. Right? Now, it does kind of scream, if I'm Colorado, it does kind of worry me that as soon as a Nebraska comes open, well, maybe not Nebraska. That's not cooler than Boulder. But like the next big name school that comes open, that's cool, that Deion will jump, because he basically just said, it ain't about the university. It's not about the black and gold. It's not about the buff. It is about, Mark Jones, not Jackson. Mark Jackson's the NBA guy. Thank you, Texter. Mark Jones. It's not about the logo or the campus or the field or the school or whatever. It's about the kids, and it's about me doing what I need to do for them, which says he can do it at any school. So the question is, how do you make Prime happy if you want him to stick around? Well, Colorado's giving him whatever the hell he wants at this point, and it's worked out so far. Now, I want to play the second clip for you. And this is the part I think wins people over, because I know there's a lot of people that go, yeah. I know, Rob, you've been telling us for 3 years that the successful next round of coaches are going to be the coaches who do what the kids want instead of what the university wants, who convince the kids that they're the important aspect of this, not the team itself. Yeah, whatever, Rob. I'll tell you what I like. There was another question that asked to Deion Sanders. Okay? Another question that I got that Deion got asked in this 60 Minutes piece. I'll let the interviewer ask the question in this clip, and then I want you to hear Deion out.
Now that you're a Power 5 guy, who's the best coach in college football today?
Let me see. Let me see a mirror so I can look at it.
You feel that?
What, you think I'm gonna sit up here and tell you somebody else? You think that's the way I operate? That somebody else got that on me? But I tell you this, I love and I adore and I respect, and every time I do a commercial with Coach Saban, it's a gift. Just sitting in his presence and hearing him and throwing something else out there so I could hear his viewpoint on it, because he's forgotten more things than I may ever accomplish. So I'm a student looking up to this wonderful teacher saying, just throw me a crumb of what you know.
That's great. That's great. They said, who's the best coach in college football right now? And he started with, let me see a mirror so I can look at him, which is prime. That's a classic Deion answer, right? That I wish I had an ounce of the confidence Deion Sanders has. But then what does he do? Then it gives you a real answer. It's Nick Saban. Nick Saban. That guy's a master. I am a student. He has forgotten more about college football than I'll ever know. And every time I get a chance to film a commercial with Nick, I'm just bouncing stuff off of him. And he's got a great opportunity, because him and Nick both do those insurance commercials together. They do, 4, 5, 6 of them a year. The last one's very funny, by the way. You know, an elephant would be scarier. Like, such a great moment. So dumb, and I love it. And he says, look, every time I'm around Nick Saban filming a commercial, what do? I just throw football at him and listen to what he has to say, because I am a student and he is a master, and I'm just picking up whatever crumbs he lays down. So you can get mad at Deion the character, because there is Deion the character. And I understand that. At the end of the day, I heard somebody put it this way this weekend, and I absolutely loved it. Deion understands something that a lot of other coaches don't. And that is the line of business that he's in. Sports is considered an entertainment industry. And it should be, because it is. Sports is an entertainment industry first. We work in sports. Lonzo and I work in sports, and we work in media. But Lonzo, what is the business that we're in that puts food on the table?
Entertainment.
Inter-freaking-tainment. That is correct. Because I could come in here every day and go, Shedeur Sanders is averaging 170 passing yards per half so far. That is the top 3 number in the country right now. He's also averaging 24 rushing yards per quarter. That is the best for any quarterback. And you'd be like, screw this. It might have the the best, most in-depth information anyone in America is bringing to you. But if we're not giving you something that you go, hey, yeah, let's go, this is fun, you're out.
That might be the first time we've heard NPR voice in
In a
about
while.
a year.
Yeah, it's
Probably
been a
like
minute.
a year.
It's been a minute. The point is, Dion recognizes he is in the entertainment industry. How many eyeballs?
I think he's recognized that for his
a very
entire
long
career.
time. Correct. But he's learned that, or maybe he's just brought that to the land of college football now, right? Like, how many other coaches have you seen that'd be willing to let Lil Wayne rap the team out of the locker room? Now, you might go, yeah, a couple at best, but like a couple at best.
I don't know this. Maybe you do. Is Lil Wayne still relevant though?
Oh, Lil Wayne's one of the top 5 rappers of all time.
I know. I mean, but now
Yes.
is he?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Not only is he still relevant, he is probably one of the 3 or 4 most relevant rappers on planet Earth right now. So it might not be a big deal to you, right? Like, I'm watching that game on Saturday night, and Lil Wayne
By
comes
the way,
out.
I know who he is, so I guess that makes him relevant. If
100%.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Respectfully, 100%. So it might not matter to you. Like, you might have watched it and been like, what? Like, what? Like, why? Right? But here's the thing. It does not matter if it is relevant to you. You know who it's relevant to? The Utes. The Utes find it relevant. And so when Colorado gets to go on their social media handle and show Weezy in a Buffs uni rapping out of the locker room tunnel with the team coming out behind him, I got to tell you right now, if I'm a 5-star recruit somewhere who's never going to consider Colorado, and then all of a sudden I find out that I get to walk out with Weezy rapping me onto the field, that's a selling point, dudes. And if you're Colorado, what's the biggest thing you can do for your program right now as you get ready to jump conferences? Get eyeballs on the product, right? Get eyeballs on the product. Well, if they put out, hey, Weezy just rapped the Buffs onto the field, guess who's checking in? My fiance, who's got zero interest in Colorado v. Colorado State. But when I go, yo, Weezy's on TV, she is going to fly to a TV to turn it on to see what he's doing, right? That's the goal here. The goal was, and always has been entertainment for Dion, but now he's brought it to a new circle. And that's why Colorado is not only relevant for the first time since, 1991, but on top of that, they're 3-0. And oh, by the way, I bet you $1 to a donut right now, Lonzo, Colorado's a top 20 recruiting class next February.
Oh, for sure. But when
Guaranteed.
when I hear Weezy, I think the Jeffersons. But that's because I'm old. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
well, you might as well, because Colorado is moving on up. Let's take a break on that joke.
that was a dad joke, right?
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and
Thank you.
I will say I am very proud of the fact that I can do Weezy and the Jeffersons, flow them together as an outro.
You know why? Because award winning. That's what I mean. That's what we do here.
Ask me who the best radio host in South Carolina is.
Hey, Rob, who's the best radio host in South Carolina?
Let me see a mirror so I can look at him. And also, I respect Nick Saban. Let's take a break. We're back after this. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's the Fan Upstate, y'all. All right, I got a live read. Y'all stay right there. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging in there.
You're always getting professional grade products.
No, crispy bacon is not where it's at. Floppy bacon is where it's at, my dudes. No, Team Floppy Bacon forever, man. Forever.
If you're hired, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
Like 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
You guys think the Pats pump block will become standard if Soto punting teams adjust, or is a new rule made in the offseason? That's a great question, Luke. First off, I've always wondered why teams don't do that more often, right? Just like run a guy off the edge. It's for the record, that one was successful. You have to time that perfectly, because if you run too far, the time you have to change the direction to get angled toward the backfield and then back around the exterior blocker is you're not going to get around him. And if you cut in too early, obviously you got a neutral zone infraction, and if you block it or the guy misses, you're going to give him a second chance. Remember how Troy Polamalu used to time snaps and just jump over linemen? How incredible that was.
Don't tell me about someone timing snaps. There's a certain lineman who's been trying to
Juwan. He doesn't
time
time
snap.
snaps. He kicked back 3 seconds early. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still looking for your hot takes. Text them to 71307 on the carpros.com text line, 71307. Start them with FAN FAM. We'll read them on the air. Looking for your hot takes on a Hot Take Monday. Old Rick. I'll be up in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight. Bank of America, as my New Orleans Saints travel to take on the Carolina Panthers for a little Monday night football action. Very excited about that one. And in the next hour of the radio broadcast, we're going to break that game down at length, my dudes and dudettes, and very much looking forward to it. Here's this weird problem I'm in. On one hand, yes, I would love for my Saints to go in there and just devastate the Carolina Panthers. I don't think they're going to. We'll talk about that later. Problem is, if they do and they win this game, then when I get back on Wednesday, I'm just going to have Lonzo drop in that bite in my ear 11 times. Just like that. That might be the only thing he gets to play on Wednesday.
So other than this, that one annoys you. Which one annoys you more?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
See all of the above. All right.
Well, I can turn it off, but we were just complimented by someone. So but maybe he was just complimenting yours and like, despite mine, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah. Carolina and Clemson both played impressive games this weekend.
All right. So the title that you put up on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the X, where you can find us because we're live every day when we're on this program, says reactions to South Carolina and Clemson wins. South Carolina did not win, Rob.
Yes, it did. It was a morale victory. All right. They won a morale victory, my dudes. So let's start with Clemson because we bumped some South Carolina in the last hour. So let's talk with Los Tigres, shall we? Clemson in the
It's Spanish, but it still means the same thing. So
Clemson in the opening minutes of that game looked like a different football team. look like a different football team. And before, the Lonzos, which is just the word I'm going to use for Clemson haters now, instead of saying Clemson haters,
By the
I'm
way,
gonna
it's
say the Lonzos.
the
Lonzos.
There we go. I mean, the's for lower class people.
The
Okay. We don't,
Lonzos.
I mean, and I don't need that extra E because
I didn't even think about that. It would be a world difference if you went, ladies and gentlemen, the Buckeyes of the Ohio State University.
yeah, I just,
the Lonzos are going to hit you with, yeah, Rob, it was FAU. I am aware. I know very well of FAU, who, by the way,
I know there's some very honest Clemson fans out there who would say the same thing. They want to see now if he plays that way this Saturday, then we're talking something different.
So FAU is better than Charleston Southern. And in my opinion, with all due respect, it's not particularly close. The Buccaneers are a very low-level school, very low-level football team. Respect for the Buccaneers. They play hard. They fought their asses off.
Didn't really
against Clemson.
sound respectful, but okay.
But they're a low-level team. Like I said, I'm gonna get the eyeballs from Lonzo again, but a team that came to Greenville and needed a miracle to walk out with a 13-10 win over the Crusaders of North Greenville.
Stop it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I've got to work with someone from there tomorrow.
Okay,
you're just trying to make things difficult on me.
That sounds like a
just because you're not here
problem.
doesn't mean that I'm not here. I thought we're a team, man.
I mean, we are, except for
I think that's a common thing that we hear all the time around here. Same team, Rob.
Except for when you are trying to silence me for your convenience. You tell Tim Holcomb, come talk to me.
I was talking about the person who's hosting tomorrow.
You bring them over here too.
Yeah.
Cole can come in here right now. Cole, there's always a seat for you, buddy. Which, by the way, speaking of North Greenville, next Saturday.
I don't know. Is there another chair? Yeah,
right
I
there.
guess so. I couldn't see it.
Next Saturday, my University of West Florida Argonauts are up here in the GVL. So if you see a dude bouncing around in a UWF jersey next week, it's me, it's Robbie B rocking the UWF gear. Can't wait. Anyway, FAU's a better team. FAU was a step up in talent. Not a significant one. We didn't go to a Power 5 football game, but it was a step up in talent, and Clemson clobbered them from the opening drive, like they should. Bobby Bowden used to say something at Florida State when he had just taken over. He said, look, there's 4 steps. Step 1 is you lose games big. Step 2 is you lose games close. Did I go from 1 to 3? I did. Step 2 is, oh no, I'm good. All right, great. Step 2 is you lose games close. Step 3 is you win games close. And step 4 is you win games big. Well, within a season, there are steps as well. Step 1 is you play deeper into the game you should. Step 2 is you start putting away teams early. Step 3 is you start thumping teams early. And step 4 is you demoralize people. Clemson hit step 3. In this game against FAU. FAU was never a factor in this game. They went pick 6 on drive number 1. They created multiple turnovers. They finished both of their picks in the first half with TDs. Defensively, Clemson looked like the defense we expect. Now, again, it was against FAU. They got FSU coming in town this weekend, but FSU this weekend against Boston College. Look, I can make all the excuses I want. Oh, it was Red Bandana Day. This was Boston College's game of the year, right? Every team is going to get up when they have got a top 4 university coming to the house. That's just how it works. You are going to get everybody's best shot. By the way, Clemson, you go to Boston College in 2 weeks. You are going to get their best shot as well. Because you're what's left, right? So when FSU rolls up into BC as a number 3 team, they're going to catch BC's best shot. That is the curse of being a top 5 team for every top 5 team. But regardless of whether it was BC's best shot or not, FSU looked bad. Now, there were some issues, which are when issues and injuries combine into one thing. That's how good we are. We make up words on the show. There are some injuries in Tallahassee. They were missing, I think, 4 starters in the beginning of that game, and they had a couple more guys get bruised and banged up in the process. theoretically, FSU should be back to close to 100% healthy this weekend. Jordan Travis got rocked in that game. Was having himself a pretty good day. Then he got dropped and spine bustered like Arn Anderson. He came down with the ball in his ribs and trapped under his arm, and he was very clearly favoring his left shoulder at halftime. Came back out, threw a play-action touchdown on the first snap of the second half. Looked like he was okay, but the deeper that game went on, the more it was obvious that Jordan Travis was kind of favoring that left side. So the Noles were banged up, and they caught the best effort that Boston College was able to give against the top 3 team in the country. A program-defining win if they could get it. Florida State comes to Clemson. Clemson has to play with the same desperation and aggression that Boston College did. Why? Because if Florida State wins this game, and I don't care if it's by 1 or 21 or 51, if Florida State wins this game, like it or not, the consensus nationally will be that Florida State has replaced Clemson at the top of the ACC. Right now, it's about a 50% split. Half the people around the nation think Florida State has already shown that they are better than Clemson, and the other half are dropping a, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. Woo! Woo! So, Clemson's got to play with the same unbridled aggression while staying under control that they played with against FAU, a game that they dominated against an inferior opponent. They've got to play with the same reckless abandon that Boston College played with this weekend against Florida State as an inferior opponent. The good news is all the little kinks that were keeping Clemson held back the first couple of weeks seem to have worked themselves out. Because, again, they seemed to work themselves out against Charleston Southern and Florida Atlantic. This is a different caliber. You are stepping up a level now. Because whether the Noles or the Tigers win this game, Florida State is better this year than they have been for the past, 7? This is the best the Noles have looked in a while. And this game does feel like it is for conference supremacy. It also feels to me like if Clemson loses this game, their opportunity to go play for an ACC title and potentially backdoor their way back into the playoffs, although it will be a big ask since Clemson spent a week unranked in the AP poll, their opportunity to backdoor their way into the playoffs will die if they lose this weekend. I have said, and I'm standing by, if you want into the playoffs this year, you have to win 12 games. You can go undefeated in the regular season and lose your conference championship, or you can take one loss in the regular season and win your conference championship, but you will have to be a 12-game winner to get in. This would eliminate Clemson from that pool, right? So Clemson has to understand you are now playing the role, and understandably so, of the home dog. When's the last time Clemson was a home dog? Does anybody know? I should have done my research and went and dug it out, but I honestly don't know the answer to that. Let's see. I'm seeing if I can find it on the fly. Last time Clemson was a home underdog was 2016 against Louisville, and they were a 1-point dog. They won that game 42-36. 7 in a row against FSU. So, a home dog, and you're going to have to act like it. You're going to have to play desperate football. You're going to have to play aggressive football. You're going to have to play, in some cases, reckless football. This game can be won. This is not a guaranteed FSU win. I felt a lot better about FSU getting a win over Clemson last week than I do this week because Boston College just showed, A, the blueprint, and B, that reckless abandon football can get FSU off balance. They can be thrown out of whack. And now that we saw Clemson come up with multiple turnovers and on multiple turnovers, turn those turnovers directly into points, that's what you're going to have to do. Cade threw the ball much better. He started working Bryony Stool in as a target. It can be done. The weapons are there. But you have to be the aggressor. There's no, you got to come to our house and beat us. It's, you're coming to our house and we are going to beat you. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
What the hell you guys say politely? I want to take a tinkle. I want to take a tinkle. I came back.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a grand slam for the second consecutive game. Miami completed a 3-game sweep of the NL East champs. College football over the weekend. North Carolina beat Minnesota 31-13. Duke over Northwestern 38-14. Wake Forest beat Old Dominion 27-24. NC State over VMI 45-7. Clemson pounded Florida Atlantic 48-14. Furman 31-28 over Kennesaw State. Georgia beat South Carolina 24-14. Campbell over Monmouth 45-31. NFL tonight, the Panthers host the Saints. Carolina 0-1 to start the season. The Saints are 1-0. Carolina wide receiver DJ Chark dealing with a hamstring injury. He's questionable for the game. Offensive tackle Taylor Moton's been dealing with a bye.
All right, guys, I'll be back in 45 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
To hear the tinkle thing all again, so I stayed in there and listened to it because it was like awesome. I was like there. It was like really cool. Wow, that's long.
You guys are going to be out of breath.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC company you can trust.
Work.
Something like Priority Heating and Air.
Work.
HVAC specialists will give your system a thorough checkup. And if you need a new unit, Priority Heating and Air is a proud distributor of the Coleman line.
I see he turned it down
systems.
again.
So keep your family or business cool this summer and give Priority Heating and Air a call today at 591-1847 or find them online at PriorityHeatingandAirHVAC.com.
Priority Heating and Air.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients.
You know, I hope I'm still silly when I'm 70. That would just be awesome. My granddaughter's like 20 going, oh, it's just pawpaw.
She sends looks that work for me and my budget. She gets my fit just right. She turns me on to styles I know.
What's your favorite kind of pudding?
Oh, I'm Team Chocolate.
Okay.
Always.
Because, you know, when you get that old, someone's feeding you pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding.
Chocolate
Yeah.
always. I did find, Courtney found, Greek yogurt pudding pops that when she brought them home, I'm like, this is not ice cream. And then I tried them, and they're delicious. And they're like 100 calories a pop with no sugar, which is awesome.
How do you know, Steven? I might just, you know, I've been doing that exercise where I'm trying to remember things to try to help me with my memory. I had one producer on the Upstate Pulse, and I can't remember his name. I can picture him in my, because I've had a ton, but there's this one guy, and he had long hair, and I feel bad I can't remember his name because we had a lot of fun with him, and I can't remember his name.
Wrapping up hour number 1 of the Rob Brown Show here on the Fan Upstate. Rob Alonso with you on a beautiful, manic Monday. Looking for your hot takes, 71307. Start that text with FAN, F-A-N, and we will read them on the radio show. You can also give us a buzz at 844-326-3663. Lonzo, very interesting development in the NFC South. You know, that division that was supposed to be a bit of a dumpster fire.
Speaking of fire, it's on fire.
How about this? If the New Orleans Saints are able to defeat the Carolina Panthers this evening, they will be one of only 2 divisions in football that have 3 2-0 teams.
So this is like a really huge deal.
It kind of is. But here's why it's so intriguing to me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 quarterbacks in this division that entered with significant questions. Really, there's 4, but 3 of them have so far answered those questions. First off, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to look down to Tampa, Florida, the home of the Buccaneers, because stop me if you've heard this before, maybe Baker Mayfield wasn't the problem at, you know, all the places he's been, because Bake just went out 26 of 34, 317, and a tutty to show for it. That's not bad. Then there is Atlanta Falcons quarterback Desmond Ridder, a guy that, yes, even I will admit I have been absolutely getting on to, but maybe, just maybe, Desmond went 19 of 32, 237, a touch and a pick. Now, let me say this. The 237's impressive. I'm not ready to say Desmond Ridder is that guy yet. He was also 19 of 32 with a pick, and a bad pick, right? So I still think there are questions about Desmond Ridder, but Bake is getting it done. And then, ladies and gentlemen, there's the other 2 quarterbacks in this league, future first ballot Hall of Famer Derek Carr and Bryce Young, the Rook. Those 2 dudes both have a chance to answer questions tonight when the Saints and the Panthers play a little prime time Monday night football.
Times kickoff's like at 7:15.
Yeah, it's an earlier kick than usual because we got a doubleheader. We also got Pittsburgh, Cleveland tonight too.
Oh, I'm loving the early. I can't wait. I'm already
90% of the time, I'd be all about a 7:15 kick, but I'm going to this one, and you're diminishing my tailgate time. Granted, it's my fault because I got to drive there after the show.
Dude, you could be there like by 1:30 if you wanted to.
I can't. I got stuff to do after the show. I don't get to just leave.
Okay. Oh, I thought that's what talent does.
No, that's what I want to do. I just say not today. I don't get to. I got to cut promos. I've got to add some new stuff into the rotator.
He's probably not listening anymore. I mean, you could just
screw that. I'm at it. 12:01, son.
I mean, come on.
No, that's actually not true. I really do have some stuff that I've got to do. But I should be on the road by 2, which puts me there at what? Once I get parked, 2:30. So I'm only going to get
no. You said, well, yeah.
I mean, 4:30, not 2:30.
Yeah, because
I should be on the road by 2. Put me there like 4:30. That gives me a solid 2 hours of tailgate time.
Because if you get there, if you leave at 2 and get there at 2:30, man, I'd like to know how fast you were going.
I got an F-22 in my backyard.
Or 35.
Whatever it is. Who cares? I got an $80 million jet that the military just lost.
It's an F something. It was like, oh, wow. I could use that, and so I did.
Yeah. Be landing that thing on the 50. So tonight's very interesting to me. Look, we're 2 weeks into the stadium, 2 weeks into the season. It is still too
Someone's
early.
2 weeks into the bottle, it sounds like.
Not yet. Text me about 7:30. We'll see how we're feeling. I am interested in this game tonight, both because I'll be there and also because I think we are going to get to learn a lot about these two quarterbacks. The Saints saw the problems last week. Trevor Penning, the left tackle, is not good. That looks like a wasted draft pick. So, do they work around that? Do they scheme around that? Because turns out if there's a strength to Carolina, it is the front seven. Brian Burns is going to be lined up a lot on the right side of the defense tonight to attack Trevor Penning, without a doubt. So Derek Carr is going to get his opportunity to prove that his plus 300-yard performance last week was not random, that he's that guy. BY, on the other hand, has got to show me that he learned from the mistakes he made against Atlanta last week. And he sounded like a vet all week. Now you got to show me that you are. This game is going to tell a lot of stories, and we'll talk more about it coming up in the next hour. Rob Lonzo and you on the Rob Brown Show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fan Upstate.
You're absolutely right, James. You can't. Hope that's in the recording. That's some weird pops going on.
You need to calm down.
Is that what that says? Okay. 'Cause I couldn't, I just phase out every time. I don't know.
Jalen Waddle did suffer an apparent hip injury in the final minutes. Head coach Mike McDaniel.
All I know is he went for evaluation, but beyond that, I haven't got any information. So late in the game,
Giants running back Saquon Barkley getting an MRI today for the ankle injury he suffered in the final moments of a 31-28 come from behind win in Arizona. 2 Monday night games this week, the Panthers and Saints at 7:15 Eastern, the Browns and Steelers at 8:15, and the Rays and Orioles clinched playoff spots yesterday while playing each other in Baltimore. The O's won 5-4-11 for a 2-game lead on Tampa atop the AL East. I'm Andrew Bogish.
We are CBS Sports Radio, and our Twitter handle is @CBS Sports Radio. CBS Sports Radio. 1664,000 agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Apple. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. Choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now try Babbel for free by texting radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000. That's RADIO to 64,000.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing there? Staring at the ceiling.
Oh, hi, Jen. Come check out the energy-efficient lighting I just had installed for my business. It's saving me a ton on my electric bills. Plus, Duke Energy SmartPath paid for almost 75% of the total cost.
Wow, that's amazing. How'd you get them to do that?
It was easy. Just look up Duke Energy SmartPath program.
Duke Energy can help cover the cost of energy-efficient upgrades for your business. Visit duke-energy.com/smartpath today.
If you order food for work, you know the drill. It's a whole bunch of needs and requests piled on top of each other. Make sure the food's on time and on budget. Make sure everyone's dietary needs are taken care of. Make sure everyone's happy. And that's why you should make sure you use EasyCater. It's one simple, reliable platform for all your food for work needs. Need to make sure food for work actually works? simple. Make sure it's EasyCater. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to stop messing up my stuff out the bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Voted South Carolina's #1 haunted house and one of America's top stream parks. Located in Piedmont off I-85, exit 35. Buy your tickets now at madworldattractions.com.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com.
Yes, we're running late. I don't know why.
Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results.
Gable's in first break.
AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com.
Nod or something.
Gable's in the first break.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the acknowledgement of my.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
877 Web Now 1.
Official sports voice of you, the Upstate fan. CBS Sports Radio is live from the Philadelphia. Man, check this out. You're on official Rob Brown lockdown. Represents being real. Yeah. Unfiltered sports talk. Manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show. Yeah. Rob only on
The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes right now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, America.
Yeah!
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 Yeah! Let's have a little fun for the last 60 of the show, shall we? I am out tomorrow because if everything goes right, I'll hopefully be recovering from a good night in Charlotte, North Carolina. Saints Panthers tonight, Monday Night Football. Do want to remind you that the pregame show today, hosted by the illustrious ones themselves, the dynamic duo themselves, Diesel and Diddy.
So you're actually going to read that the way he wrote it?
No, he just said, I'm there. Don't forget I'm hosting.
Oh, so you wrote that part.
Yes.
Of dynamic. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yes. Double D's.
Diesel makes an excellent Robin.
Oof, good luck with that. The Double D's tonight going to be out at Dave and Buster's.
All right. I don't know if you, because people are going to be showing up looking for
Double D's and they'll find them. Diesel and Diddy.
Okay.
It's
All right.
perfect.
All right. If you say so. False advertising, you can get in trouble
Not
for
false
that. Sort of,
at all. There will be 2 D's there.
All right.
Double D's.
People sometimes listen to the radio and they only hear what they want to hear. And okay.
I mean, if you take it as anything more than Diesel and Diddy, I can't help you.
I
with
wasn't
that.
speaking for myself. Just there's other people.
Pre-game show, the Carolina kickoff show from Dave and Buster's tonight, 5 to 6 p.m. And then I'm sure they're going to stick around to watch a little football action. Go by and see Diesel and Diddy tonight. If you're going to be up in Charlotte for that game, please come find me. There's only 77,000 of us in the stadium. You can find me.
Oh, come on. You'll find them. You absolutely, in that big of a you will go, I bet that's Rob Brown. And you'll what and just follow the sound. Find him. You will find him.
There,
seen it happen at the Well, and I know the Well is smaller, a smaller venue, but we knew where Rob was at all times in the Well. So I'm guessing that even in the bank, you're going to know where he is.
Oh, yeah.
There is one massive thing that I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with it. It's great for Carolina. I paid the same amount for these tickets that I'm sitting in the 500s as I did last year to sit like 22 rows off the field. So the Cats are excited. And I'm sure the bank is going to be absolutely bonkers tonight. But we'll see how it goes. Yes! I decided to pay the same amount of money to sit in the 500s as I did 22 rows off the field last year. Yes, that's frustrating.
With that
I work in radio.
With that talent money you got going on, that should be nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. We are looking for, as we start hour number 3, we are looking for your hot takes. It's getting hot in here. So what's your hot take? Gary texts into the show. Gary says, here's my hot take. Tampa Bay wins the NFC South, and they beat Philly next week. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job. Great entertainment. It's getting hot in here. That's the hot take at the end.
It's not, okay, because it's not really a hot take, because right now, I mean, they sit atop the leaderboard.
Dude, Chicago sucks.
They're pretty
Chicago
bad.
sucks, and I'm sorry, but the Justin Fields experiment came to a crashing thud yesterday. He was bad. He was bad.
Is it all his fault, though? Is it really?
He was bad. He missed.
He wasn't bad in college. I mean,
I don't care when he was in college. In the NFL, he's bad. So was Tim Tebow. There's nothing wrong with it.
I knew that was coming.
Because it's true.
Yeah, but Tim Tebow won a playoff game. But chances are that Justin Fields may not sniff the playoff game. Yeah.
Yep. Lit. I watched a bunch of clips yesterday, and one of my favorite moments was grabbing. I think I deleted it on accident, but I grabbed a screenshot of DJ Moore standing butt naked, wide open in the flats with his hands out like this, because even he recognized JF pulled it and ran it in the face of exactly no pressure when DJ Moore was wide open.
Hey, I mean, you get beat up as much as he has. It's like, oh, no one's open. Oh, no one's open. Let me run before I die. I mean, some of it's the offensive line.
No, he was bad. All right, we'll come back to that. The Bears suck, but the Buccaneers still got it done. And I mean, they didn't win that game just because Chicago sucks. They won that game because they might not be as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Duh.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. Appreciate that text, Gary. Great to have you on the show, pal. Make sure you keep them coming. Texter said, Rob, you just can't stop trashing Desmond Ridder. You left off the 6 he had with his legs as well. Can't wait for Saints Falcons. Look, I'm surprised. I'm not going to say I'm not surprised.
Hey,
I am very surprised.
Wait in line, dude. Wait in line.
I am very surprised with how good Desmond Ridder is. But I'm saying, since I won't be here tomorrow, when I get back Wednesday and we hand out our TMFINR awards.
That is not real.
Desmond Ridder's probably not getting one.
All right. I just want to, let's go back 1 year. One year ago, the Atlanta Falcons fans were feeling it. And Rob was about to make an apologize to a quarterback who would like leave before the season was over, thinking that, you know, he was wrong about it in Atlanta. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
It's not, I mean, come on.
This is not only
it's
not
still,
the first
it's
time.
still, it's still Desmond Ridder. Come on.
This is not only not the first time that we have seen this story. It happened literally last year. Literally last year at this time, I was getting text about how I owed Marcus Mariota in edible arrangements. Nope. Sure don't own an edible arrangement to a guy who was so bad that he left the team when he was still on it. Just left. I'm out. He Shohei Ohtani'd him.
In the middle of a documentary, too.
Yeah.
This is in the middle of the documentary. Like,
Yeah,
you know
just
what?
disappears.
I know everyone's watching. I know it's going to air, but you know what? I'm out of here.
I'm out. Texture says, Rob, hot take. It's getting hot in here. With the way Georgia looked Saturday, no team from the SEC makes the playoffs.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with that.
Inconceivable.
There is absolutely going to be an SEC team in the playoff, and here's why. Because even if, well, first off, because shocker, LSU's good. All right. Yes, they lost the game. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. They demoralized
Who'd they
Mississippi
beat?
State this weekend.
All right, again,
they
who'd they
put
beat?
73 on Grambling,
Oh.
and the only L they've taken is to a good FSU team.
Game over.
LSU is in. I told you that preseason. The question mark I had was whether or not Georgia was going to get in. And I know you think I have those teams backwards, but Georgia ain't as good as they once was. And LSU is as good as they've ever been. That's not true. They had Joey B, but I needed a song metaphor there. So I am going with song lyric, not metaphor, dummy. I am going with LSU is in the playoff because they're not going to lose another game. And yes, I'm including beating Georgia in the SEC championship game in that.
By the way, a metaphor could be a lyric.
It could be both.
Absolutely.
But in that case, it was just a lyric. LSU is going to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, as I called preseason, and they are going to get in. The question mark is, does Georgia run the slate? The good news is there's not really much left in front of the Georgia Bulldogs at this point. So I'm going to say texter with response to your hot take. Not quite.
I hear it now. Now I hear it.
Lonzo didn't understand Tay-Tay because he phased out every time he heard it.
Well, just like you didn't understand that. So, I mean, so there you go. Maybe we're both just old, Rob.
Texter says, hot take. Saints-Rams was a clean finish right in the middle of the... Why you got to bring up old stuff, Texter? I was having a good day. Why you got to bring up old stuff? Why you got to bring up old stuff? That's messed up, dude. That's messed up, and I don't like it. I don't want to hear it. I don't appreciate it. Gone. Get up out of here. Gone. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. What is, Zoe, in your opinion?
Are we playing Jeopardy?
No, because I said what is, and that's not how Jeopardy works.
It is.
No, you have to ask me the question, then I answer in the form of a
but you're asking me a question.
Right, which is not how Jeopardy works.
Right, so I'm going to answer in the form of a question.
If I said, Lonzo, this college football team insists that you say the in front of their name or else they get irrationally angry, then you would say,
look, you're already better than my at hosting Jeopardy.
What's the biggest takeaway from college football week 3? What's the biggest takeaway? Is it maybe Georgia's not?
I was going to say Georgia is not what they have been, or Colorado is the hype. I mean, I don't know what the biggest takeaway is. I guess I'll go with Georgia. Just because it's more relevant to this area. I'm going to go with Georgia.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say that is fair. Georgia, maybe not the monster.
That's
that a lot
fair.
Of people not named Rob Brown were trying to convince you that they were. They're very good. I'm not arguing that they're very good. I'm also going to say there's another side of that coin, which is maybe South Carolina is still better than a lot of people gave them credit for. Now, I am going to make it up by saying that you still can't run the ball. Your offensive line is still very pedestrian, and that's a problem because the blueprint to beat Shane is now there. What is it? Rush the hell out of Spencer Rattler. Make that guy run for his life. Bring outside blitzers to set the edge so that Rat can't get outside. Because if Rattler gets outside and works you left to right, that's when you're in trouble. So what did Georgia do? Set the edge, keep him in the pocket, make him beat you with a pass, and he couldn't do it in the second half. Now, how much did the rain have to do with that? I'm sure some of it. You ever tried to throw a slippery football? It's not easy to do. It's certainly not easy to do when your wide receivers are being covered by 5-star cornerbacks. So I think maybe Georgia's not quite the monster that everybody that's not me tried to convince you they were, A. And B, maybe the Gamecocks are a little better than we thought. Takeaway number 2. Maybe Florida State isn't as dominant as we thought they were. They trailed 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. They did put up a couple unanswered. Actually, they put up, 14 unanswered to end the first half. It was 17-7 at the half. They ended up putting up 14 more in the third, but they got blanked in the fourth, and BC put up, 24 unanswered or 22 unanswered before the end of that game. So maybe FSU is not as dominant as we thought. Maybe Clemson is a little bit better than we thought. Maybe it just took them a couple of get punched in the mouth weeks to get it together. Clemson FSU, Saturday, noon, because people are stupid. That one's going to be interesting at this point. No. Should a high caliber, high importance football game be played at noon?
Hell no. What kind of questions that?
No, it should not. It should not.
I have to play the fake violin because I don't have. I'm not happy with the violin music we have.
I bet that gets fixed.
No, I'm gonna find some cello, just straight up cello. What's more sad, cello or violin?
Oh, violin.
Yeah,
It's the classic.
but I like my
The
sadness.
old, let me play you the world's smallest violin joke is that for a reason. It's never let me play you the world's smallest cello.
I like my sadness with a little bass. That's just me.
Number 3. Jaden Daniels is who I told you he was. You all went, Rob, you're nuts. Rob, you're crazy. Rob, you can't he can't read, he can't throw. Really?
Nope.
Because he started that game 15 of 16 for 220 and 2 touches. He ended that game 30 of 34 for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, no, I'd say he's pretty good. He also tacked on 15 carries for 64 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. If you're taking score at home, that is 4 touchdowns accounted for by Jaden Daniels. He's good, and LSU's good. Michigan. Is it just me, Zoe? I know your answer already, but I'll ask you anyway. I'm not impressed with Michigan so far. Now, granted, they might just be on cruise control. Alarm. They have played 3 second-tier, maybe third-tier opponents so far. 31-6.
You know what?
Bowling Green.
You know what it is, Rob. Their coach isn't there.
Old Harborough sitting out a few.
When he gets back, things will look because they'll get their motivation, they'll get their whatever it is, the thing that he brings, they'll get that back, and then suddenly there'll be a fire under the butt, and they'll be able to get some stuff to look a little bit better.
I'm not impressed by Michigan right now. 32-3 winners over ECU.
They're still like number 2 in the nation,
They
right?
are, and Georgia's still number 1. But these are preseason polls, and you really only drop if you take an L or if you win ugly and the team behind you gets a big dub. Speaking of big dubs, how about Wyoming taking Texas to the 4th quarter in a, 10-10 tie to start the 4th? I think deep into the 4th before Texas exploded down the stretch and win 31-10. But Texas being taken the limit by Wyoming a week after Alabama. And, BT Dubs, if you're paying attention, the University of South Florida had Alabama on the ropes for a while there. It was 3-3 at halftime. Bama got a tutty in the 3rd to make it 10-3 and finally got the go-ahead, or I guess I should say the stay-ahead. They end up winning that game 17-3 in a game that was dramatically closer than it felt, which to me says maybe the win by Texas wasn't as impressive as we thought, because I think, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want to hot take it too much, I think Alabama is cooked. It's getting hot in here. I think the Saban era is dunzos, dude, because he didn't get the players he wanted in the portal. He didn't get the coaches he wanted to be coordinators. His offensive coordinators are just bad right now. Tommy Rees is just not getting it done.
Can he bring someone down from the booth? Because he usually has like 10,000 consultants up there.
I don't know. Let me put it this way. I got a text from one of my old Alabama buddies from back home that said, can we get Bill O'Brien back from the Patriots? That's how desperate they are. They want Bob back. They want the OG B.O.B. Bill O'Brien back. That's how bad things are for Bama. So maybe, just maybe, that Texas win over Alabama, following it up with a picture finish, a freeze frame finish against Wyoming. Maybe we jumped the gun on the Texas's back stuff. Maybe Alabama really is cooked. I said in a TikTok video that I made last week to pump the brakes and on saying Alabama's done. And now I'm the first guy to come on the radio today and go, nope, they are.
Damn, son, that is one compelling argument.
I think it has to be. Thanks, Ron Swanson. How about Florida rolling all up on Tennessee? They put up 20 in the second quarter.
Wait. So, I thought Tennessee was back. You know, I thought they were what Florida?
Dudes.
Tennessee was supposed to be back. Ever since I've been on the air, for like 26 years now. I've heard Tennessee is back, and I ain't seen it yet.
I am going to strain an oblique patting myself on the back today, because what did I also tell you about the Volunteers of Tennessee? They're not as good as they were last year. Last year, they had Jalen Hyatt, who went the bleep off for the Giants yesterday.
That is not real.
And they had Hendon Hooker, who was a Heisman finalist before his knee blew up. And with those two guys, Tennessee was for real. Without those guys, with all due respect to Joe Milton, dudes, they're not the same team.
Nope.
That being said, Florida looked good. Trevor Etienne looked a lot like Travis. 23 carries, $172, and a tutty on the ground. That dude is for real, man. No, you're not buzzing that.
He still plays for Florida, right?
Yeah, who won 29-16 over a top 10 team at their house.
No. Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
I'm not saying Florida's back.
Okay. Because that's kind of what Tennessee's not back, but Florida's back. That's what I'm getting out of what you're doing.
I'm not saying Florida's back. I'm saying this. If you ask me right now, today, Florida versus South Carolina to handicap that game, it's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game.
If I was a Florida fan, I'd pick another team to root for, like Clemson or something.
Florida's only L came on the road at a top 15 team against Utah. Then they smoked a top 10 team in their house. Florida is good. I'm not saying they're great. I'm not saying they're back. I'm not saying they're competing for the East. They're not. Georgia's going to get them too, but they're well on their way. How about Mizzou? Eli Drinkovitz coaching for his life at Mizzou. They were ready to make a move. They had number 15 Kansas State come to the house this weekend, and all they did was walk them off on a 61-yarder, dude. A 61-yarder to walk off the longest field goal in SEC history for Mizzou to get the win. Oregon State did exactly what I told you they were going to do. I told you to take the cover in that game. They did 26-9. DJ Uiagalelei, how about 284 and a tutty? He did have 2 picks in this game, though. So we got to walk back that soundbite a little bit.
No. Did they win?
Yeah, but he was not good.
I guarantee you, if someone were to throw 2 interceptions, they're probably losing the game. But when they're going to win.
14 of 30, 284, 1 tutty, 2 picks, and a 66 rating. That is a sub 50% completion percentage. They were carried by Damian Martinez, their running back, who went for a $102 on 15 carries.
Hey, Rob. So that quarterback that was rejected by Clemson fans, who they booed and all that guy, what's his record right now?
He is a perfect 3-0.
And that guy that they wanted to replace him, what's his record?
He is 2-1.
Okay, so that would mean, that transitive thing, that would mean you guys were wrong. That's what that would mean.
I mean, yes, I've been saying that all year. But I am saying DJ walked it back a little bit this weekend. All right. He just did. It just is what it is. Ole Miss 48-23 over Georgia Tech. Thought that game was going to be close. Did you see what Lane Kiffin said about Alabama in the weirdest smack talk I have ever heard? So Lane Kiffin said that his Ole Miss running rebel offense that is set to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama this weekend, and by the way, might be favored in that game now. I'll look up that line in a minute. Lane Kiffin said that the Rebels are preparing for a Crimson Tide defense coordinated by Travaris Robinson, the secondary coach. Now, that might not be a big deal, except for Robinson is not the defensive coordinator for the Crimson Tide. That's Kevin Steele. But see, the Alabama fans are calling for the head of Kevin Steele. They want Kevin Steele out. They want Kevin Steele gone because
how many places has Kevin Steele worked at?
Most of them.
And everywhere the fan base at that place, say the same thing.
Most of them. I think Kevin Steele defensive coordinated for the Fan Upstate a few years back, right? So he's the defensive coordinator. Lane Kiffin said he is preparing for a defense called by Travaris Robinson, the secondary coach. Here's what he said, quote, I don't know what happened after the Texas game, but our guys watching the TV copy schematically in this last game. It certainly seems like T-Rob's now calling the defense. We played him before at South Carolina, so we're preparing accordingly, for him calling the defense. He's done a good job too, and they've really got good players. My dude just said Alabama quiet fired their defensive coordinator and promoted somebody else into the role. What a weird smack talk that got all the Bama fans up in arms, so it worked. Lane Kiffin is the best, dude. North Carolina stays perfect, 31-13 winners over Minnesota. Drake May gets it done with 414 passing yards and 2 tutties. Duke is now 3-0 with a 38-14 over Northwestern. How about UCLA putting up 59? Telling y'all, college football parity at its best. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Your hot takes to close out the show, some NFL reactions, and more coming up on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. All right, guys, one more live read. Stay right there. We'll be back in just a minute. glass worthy, to be honest with you. We've got a bit of breaking news that I think is worth breaking the glass.
We already kind of knew, but okay.
Breaking news brought to you by our friends at BetQL. Be a better, be smarter, beat the books with BetQL. And, of course, don't forget to listen to the nation's favorite baseball gambling show, as long as you only ask the mothers of Cody Decker and Rob Brown. It is Bet for the Cycle, presented by BetMGM and BetQL on the BetQL network, hosted, of course, by Cody Decker and myself, Rob Brown. Travis Hunter taken to the hospital after that hit early in that Colorado State game. He got walloped on the sideline, and I think, Lonzo, in the wrestling world, we would call that a receipt, because Colorado State was not happy with the pregame antics of Deion's boys.
It's definitely a receipt, but at the same time, back in the day, back in the compilation days, back when VHS was around, that hit would have been on some best hits of college football.
Without a doubt. Travis Hunter got rocked while out of play. It was a dirty hit. I'm not arguing that it was or was not. It most certainly was. He is apparently going to be out for 3 weeks. He was taken to the hospital after that game. He is going to be out for 3 weeks. And that, of course, means that he is going to miss, without question, the 2 biggest games of the year for Colorado. They are on the road this Saturday at Oregon, and then next week they come back home and welcome the USC Trojans to town. Deion not to have Travis Hunter in those 3 games is bad.
Yeah, so that Colorado State guy took out 2 players in essence by taking out 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's 2 positions that they have to fill for those big-time games.
Yep, that's a two-way, not just a two-way player, but an outstanding two-way player.
Yeah, really good on both sides of the ball.
And so he is out 3 weeks. That news being broken right now by a couple of different sources on Twitter, and that's bad news for the Buffs because they were already going to be a dog in both of those games, and now they are a dog without their, I don't know what, probably best player on the football team, right?
See, I think that's debatable, but he's 1 or 2. I think Shedeur is probably the best, at least in my opinion.
It's one of the 2
because he ain't only throwing the ball to that dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Shedeur as number 1, but still, yeah, 2 positions, 1 guy out, and that's not good. We're gonna find out how good of a team that Prime is actually built.
We are getting reports that Travis Hunter has a lacerated liver. Now, I have not substantiated those. That comes from I'll credit him because hopefully it's wrong, but if it's not, he gets the credit. Skip Bayless is saying that Travis Hunter has a lacerated liver that will keep him out 3 to 4 weeks while it heals up. So that's awful news for the Buffaloes, especially considering the biggest 2. Now, if they lose both of those games, kind of expected that. It is what it is, right? If they win either one of those games, it is going to be bedlam in Boulder, Colorado. But if they lose both, it is not the end of the season, because the question for me about where we gauge Colorado is against Arizona State. It's against Stanford. It's against UCLA. It's against Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, and Utah. Colorado still has, Lonzo, 6 ranked teams on their schedule. They have one of the most difficult schedules in college football. That is why they were projected to have 3.5 wins over under. 1 more, they hit the over, and we're 3 weeks into the season. They've got more wins coming. I just don't think it's the next 2 weeks, and it's certainly not the next 2 weeks without Travis Hunter available. So there's some breaking news for you. Let's take a look at the NFL slate from last Thursday until today. What jumps out at you in the NFL? You had a 34-28 win by the Eagles over the Vikings, and the Vikings are now 0-2. How about Atlanta, man? I know we kind of briefly mentioned them earlier, but a 25-24 gut-out win for the Falcons. They put 13 on the board, including a walk-off game-winning field goal. Well, it was a walk-off. Green Bay had one more shot, but they couldn't do anything with it. But a 25-24 win for Atlanta. Desmond Ridder, 237 yards, a touch and a pick in that one.
Let's talk about the worst football game on the NFL slate yesterday, and that's Kansas City versus the Jaguars. It was so bad. It's one of those, if I wasn't a fan of this team, I probably would be turning this right now. 'Cause
You
it
guys,
was so bad.
you guys started off as the primary game on the 75-inch and got demoted to a laptop screen at halftime. It was ugly. Mahomes, 29 of 41, 305, 2 touches, and an IMT. Lawrence, 22 of 41 for 216, no touches, and no picks. Pacheco, 12 yards. By the way, I missed a 5-yard. I missed a 5-yard, or excuse me, a 5-leg parlay because I needed 10 yards of receiving out of Isaiah Pacheco, and he didn't get any. 1 target, no yards. I needed 10 receiving yards from Isaiah, and Rob would have been drinking good beer at the game tonight.
You know, the last time I saw them play this bad is when they lost their tackles. You know what they did in the offseason? They replaced their tackles, and maybe they should have went, you know what? Yeah, I know you want a little more money. Here's your money.
Are you saying seeing your false start is driving you a little crazy, Zoe?
Just a little bit. Yeah, it's like, dude, get up on the line, okay?
My dude
I
is
mean,
playing
that's just,
in the back. He's a wingback.
yeah, it's not. I mean,
He's an offset wingback.
You keep saying, well, you know, it's not my fault, everybody. Yeah, it is your
No,
fault,
it is.
dude. It's your fault. Come
Yeah,
on.
It is for
I
sure.
saw something that said he got benched, but I think it was just,
He did. Reed took him out for like 4 plays.
yeah.
In fact,
but
he got asked
I
at the
thought he was
presser.
getting benched permanently.
No,
but
they asked Andy Reid in the presser. They're like, "Why'd you pull him?" And he said, "I needed to have a talk." Like he was getting a little carried away. What did he get? Didn't he get hit with like 5 false starts yesterday? Right?
yeah, it was. I mean, and the announcers are even saying, you know,
Yeah.
he knows the spotlight is on him. He knows the focus is on him.
You got to do better.
And he's still doing it.
Yeah.
And
He
the only good part about it is, and this guy played with Tom Brady. I love that dude. I mean, I was okay with them saying that every time, but
I
you know,
think it was some makeup calls because he could have got hit for about 12 of them in that game against Detroit back in week 1.
did he not do this when he played for Tampa Bay?
Oh no, he absolutely he's done it everywhere he's been.
So he got away with it because
Correct.
he played with Tom.
I don't know
Brady.
if it was because he's with Tom, because he did it, and I think he was with
You know, last I checked, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes, or I don't know, his last couple of games might make it look differently, but you think he would get the same kind of treatment if that's the reason. I'm just saying.
So Juwan Taylor is the tackle in question here. Also spent time. He was drafted by 09 with the Jags. I've got a guy down there. I can't say I know him, but I used to work very briefly with Rick Ballou.
A source is a source.
Yeah, not really, because I haven't got it from him. He just puts it on his Twitter. But Ballou pointed out that, and by the way, he did not play with Tom Brady. He spent 4 years in Jacksonville before he moved to Kansas City.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know where that came from.
All right.
But Rick Ballou, who works for 1010XL, which is the flagship of the Jags down in America's butthole, Jacksonville, Florida. Rick Ballou said he did this in Jacksonville all the time, and he just got away with it.
I have another question for you too, because you've said many times about how bad Jacksonville was and how people didn't show up. I'm just saying that the crowd looked pretty. That was like a lot of people
because they
there.
don't suck now.
Okay, all right.
It turns out any football team can sell. This is what I've been trying to scream at owners for 100 years. Do you understand the very first step to making money for your team is winning? It's the very first step.
I've heard that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's the best thing. In fact, it is, I would argue, as far as selling tickets goes, the only thing. It's the only thing that is going to sell you more tickets and sell out your merchandise trucks out front of the stadium is to have a good team. If the team is good, people want to, watch it, see it. So the Jags, despite the L at 1-1, just lost to the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions. They're gonna be fine. But yes, Juwan Taylor got called for mucho false starts, and good, because he's, false starting like a lot. Anthony Richardson checked himself out of the Colts-Texans game, a game that the Texans would go on to lose to Indianapolis 31-20, your final in that one. CJ Stroud, 30 of 47, 384, 2 tutties for the Texans. Listen, I am all for the argument of the learning curve. I am all for the argument that it takes a while to get comfortable, to get used to game speed. But y'all, I'm also going to tell you, CJ Stroud does not have the team or the weaponry around him that the Carolina Panthers do. And CJ just had himself a day. Granted, they lost the game, but it was not because of CJ Stroud, my dudes. It was because they couldn't run the ball. 52 yards on 26 carries is not going to get it done, which means the Texans are going running back. Anthony Richardson went 6 of 10, 56. He also carried 3 times for 35 and 2 touchdowns as well. He checked himself out of the game because on his second rushing touchdown, he got his bell rung by the turf monster and was having concussion symptoms. So he went to the trainers and said, you got to check me out. And they did, and they ruled him out for the game. Gardner Minshew stepped in, 19 of 23, a $171, and a touch to go with it. The Colts at 1-1 are now interesting. The Niners get the Rams. How about this? This is my favorite story. Lonzo, the San Francisco 49ers were 7-point favorites in that game. They had the 49ers down 30-20 with inside of minutes remaining. The Rams got the ball. The Rams took it into Niner territory, and they, for no reason at all, kicked a walk-off field goal as the clock hit 0, which took the score from 30-20, a cover of the 7-point spread, to 30-23, a push for everybody in that game.
I've heard all the gamblers whining about this. Maybe it had nothing to do with gambling. Maybe he just wanted his field goal kicker to get to get some meaningful practice, get a meaningful kick. Maybe that's all it was.
Oh, 100% it did. That was 100% the reason.
Yeah, I mean, because it's actual game time.
And I think that was his first game, if I recall correctly. I think it was him, that it was his first time because he did not kick in the preseason. But still, if you bet Niners plus or Niners -7, that's
if you're just
sucks.
a bad bettor, that's on you. I mean, don't blame everybody else.
Listen,
you're the one who put the money down.
There's a
you
reason.
lost. I'm not talking about you, because it might
I didn't
really
touch
be
that
you.
game.
Yeah,
I didn't touch that game.
Because
I
we
couldn't do
talked
it.
about how the Rams are better than what
Yeah.
people thought.
After
so.
week 1, I couldn't touch a 7-point spread. If they'd had it at 5.5, I'd have taken the Niners, but not at 7, and that's what played out. The Giants were down, what was it, 28-0? Or 28-7.
It was a
one point
lot.
to the Cardinals.
Yes.
They come back and win 31-28. Danny Dimes is changing his name to Danny Wheels because Danny Wheels had to put the legs on a couple of times to get out of trouble, and he did. 9 carries, 59 on top of going 26 of 37 for 321, 2 touch and 1 pick. Good game from them. Cowboys dominate the Jets. How about the Commanders? How about Washington is 2-0, boys? Ron Rivera, let's go.
Who's the quarterback?
Sam bleeping Howell, baby.
Who is that?
Say his name and put some respect on it. Dolphins last night in the first half, Lonzo, looked like the best team in the AFC. In the second team, they did not do that. We're going to keep talking NFL all week. When we come back, we ask what the X is going on, and we call it a day on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Yep, it's still not not Desmond Ridder. Sorry, boys. Yeah, James, you know Rick. I love Rick. Rick was, so when I was first getting into this game and Rick was working in Tallahassee, Rick used to come on my first show all the time and taught Knowles with me when I lived in Destin. So it was the closest school we covered. Now he's in Jacksonville, and I love that guy. Rob works for BetQL. Of course he's I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying it's that's the definition of a bad beat, Keeg. Also, I don't know why I called you Keeg, and I take it back immediately. Sorry about that.
Keeg. Sup, Keeg?
Keeg, bro.
Download the Odyssey app, search the Fan Upstate, and listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders with the Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
So I have a problem. I went in and I bought a pair of, I'm talking to the stream as well as Zoe on the side.
You know, I know. If you're going to talk about the sunglasses.
I did. I bought a pair of Prime sunglasses. I bought the Hawaii 5.0 Miami Vice GTA 4 versions. And I'm very excited about them, except for, Alonzo, I'm out of contacts, which means I can't wear them and also be able to see things.
They're not here yet, are they?
They get here today. They'll be
Oh,
here. They'll be
okay.
on the house at the house when I get home. So I was gonna wear them to the game tonight, except for I can't see without them, or I can't see with just them, unfortunately.
Yeah, seems overrated. If you look good though, that's all.
I will look great. I'll just be running into walls
Well, you could wear them when you meet up with Rashad.
with Rashad. I'll
Yeah,
just dump them on as soon as I see him.
Yeah. Secret agent incognito style.
Any good agent, we're here for the open house. For the closing, we're handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average.
Keegan has offered to wear them for you.
Increase affordable housing supply. And ensure
That's a friend right there, man.
It is.
That's what that is.
And for the record, if I like them, like if they're good sunglasses,
Kegel.
I like 'em.
I like that. Kegel.
Do you know what a Kegel is?
No, I don't. Is that actually a thing?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know.
It is an exercise that the ladies do in order to maintain muscular integrity in one particular area of their body.
How the heck do you know that? And why do you
That's
know
common
that?
knowledge.
And it is not common knowledge. It is not. All right.
I've
So-
never said this sentence before, but Stream, did you know what Kegels are? Be honest. Did you know what Kegels are? Text Miss Lisa right now. Say, what's a Kegel?
I am not doing that. Because she won't know what it is.
Yes, she will.
If I do, I guarantee you she wouldn't know what it was.
Well, we can't find out unless you text.
Well, because I'm not. Because then I'm going to have to explain to her what it is. And I'll let you do that.
This is my favorite conversation of the year.
It's not mine. All right, I'm just going to stop.
Hope my mom stopped listening.
I'm going to stop repeating anything that's on the stream, period. Because, you
I'd
know,
have seen it and I would have left. The problem is I'm 4 feet from my screen and I can't read anything that's on it right now.
United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
The kids in my youth ministry called me that when I was a youth pastor, and they did not know what it was, and I was not. No, they did know what it was,
No.
Kegel, and that's why they.
how
called
about
you
they
that.
didn't? I
They
think
were like, "How uncomfortable can we?"
he
make
cannot
Pastor
he
Sully?"
cannot give credit to people who don't know certain things just because your mind is
That's not dirty. It's
perpetually
an
in
exercise.
okay.
Literally, women
But
have
why
to do
would
it
why would
after
you need to
give
know?
birth,
Why
you
would
are mandated to do Kegels. It's genuinely an exercise. People know what they are.
I don't think people do. I really don't. I think we should do a survey
I'm
around the
putting it on the
building.
poll right now.
No.
Nope. on
Do
the
not
poll.
put that on
It's
the poll.
going on my Twitter, not the.
Okay,
fans'
all
Twitter.
right. Yes, Keegan, like me, the innocent ones. Thank you. The ones that Rob doesn't believe exist. I'm innocent I'm not really that. I'm not that innocent. Yes, I went there, but still.
I really want to talk about that. On
No.
air.
That's- I want to ask what the X is going on in this room. That's what I want to know. All right. The first thing that's X and it's not that stuff is not that stuff.
You guys should watch the stream. It gets a little out of control. We were having fun during the break, and
No.
Lonzo has forbidden me from bringing
No,
up the
no, no.
conversation on there.
Stop saying the collective we, because we're not having fun. All right. The first thing that is X and Yo is F-35.
All right, so this one's fun.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if fun's the way to go, but
So here's what we know. Yesterday, an F-35 was doing some sort of exercise, and there was an issue, and the pilot ejected from the F-35. He landed safely. He is safe back on base, except for the problem is the F-35 didn't crash. It turned on autopilot and just took off. The jet just kept going, and so the military doesn't know where it is
chances are
at this point.
and this happened over South Carolina, so chances are the conversation is going on. Hey, Jimmy, you never guess what I found. There's a chop shop, and there is an F-35 in that chop shop. Hey, Bobby, what you gonna do with that? Just gonna leave it right there in the shop. Just leave it there like a hood ornament.
So there is somewhere. Now, here's the interesting thing. Apparently, the F-35 had a lot of gas left in it, which means the radius of places it could have gone, I think it extends like past the other side of Tennessee. That thing could have gone for another hour on its own with the
Allegedly.
If
Here's the thing, though. They would have spotted it in the air. They know where, I heard DA and those guys talking about it earlier. They got black box technology and all that kind of stuff in those jets. They know where it is. If it disappeared, how could it disappear with all that technology? I can pick my phone up and know where my car is right now because my phone will tell me my car is right out there. At least I hope it's still out there.
Here's my favorite part. Last night, the U.S. military had to put out post on social media where they went, hey, if y'all see our $80 million aircraft, will you give us a buzz? And Lonzo's spot on. This thing crashed in a field somewhere, and about 19 dudes with blowtorches showed up, pulled it apart, and have been selling it ever since. So if you, friends, wanted to, I don't know, add the jet engine from an F-35 to your decor, stay tuned to the Black Market.
Put it on the back of your Corolla. You're going to win, man. You are going to win.
Somebody's Facebook marketplace is about to be lit AF, without a doubt.
All right. The next thing that's Xing yo is slob.
I had all the jokes. I'm just going to leave them alone.
Yeah, I didn't look it up. I just it was trending. I was like, yeah, you get afraid that you're going to look and there's going to be a picture of you when you look up something trending like that, and yeah. So I just didn't look.
Yeah, there's
having a really good day. I didn't want to go. Oh,
there's a lot going on with that word. There's a lot of different things.
Oh, so this is
I'm just
negative.
saying, don't Google it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't. All right. So the last thing that is Xing yo is Roman versus Rock.
So
you missed it. You left. I was still watching when he talked about it on the McAfee show.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was on the McAfee show last Friday, and he said that there was a script that ended with Rock v. Roman at last year's WrestleMania, and that it is very much on the table for this year's WrestleMania, Rock v. Roman, which does not shock me because everybody jumped to, well, it's got to be Cody. But the reality is the bloodline has to be undone by the bloodline. The bloodline's got to be done from the inside out. And who is the most inside to do it? That being said, Roman's going over The Rock before somebody turns on him from inside the actual bloodline, and then it's Cody's time.
All right, you know what? I disagree with you on all this, and we'll talk about it Thursday because Bloodline's already dead. They're basically non-existent as far as storyline goes. It's not entertaining anymore.
I disagree entirely, and we'll talk about it Thursday at 11:20 for Fight Club. Texter says, Rob, hot take. Oh,
it's still there.
Well, then what?
It's not me.
Sounder broke. Hot take, Saints suck. Sean Payton was wildly overrated, and Drew Brees was a stat patter. Hashtag keep pounding. That's fine. We'll take our Lombardi. Where's yours, Panther fans? See, you made me make it personal. We made it personal. See y'all Wednesday. Cole Bryson in for me tomorrow. Who dat? It's the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Steven.
Home loss to the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. QB Mac Jones was 3 years old.
Brandon, 2-0 are the Dirty Birds. 2-0 are the Falcons. I can't talk smack about that. Now, if the Saints can go 2-0 tonight, the NFC South with a pair of 2-0 teams, just like everybody predicted.
That would be 3 2-0.
That's what I meant.
Yes, that's a trio.
I forgot
trio.
Tampa exists.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids, I'm going to go record some promos, plug them in, and then I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to drive to Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go, baby.
Why'd you scratch your head?
I didn't.
It's like you forgot where you were going.
Y'all have a lovely day. Give Cole Bryson hell tomorrow. Lonzo will. You guys should join in. It'll be funny. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I am off tomorrow, but you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and X and Threads and wherever. Actually, don't follow me on Threads. I haven't posted anything there.
Oh, you can follow them, but it's it's not going to do anything.
Not worth anything. Anyway, follow me on social. I'm going to try to go live a couple of times leading up to and throughout the game. So check us out. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you back here on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. You're all amazing people. Goodbye.